Russell.
It does mean
Nick Bruzowitz.
Beat him up in private.
And Dave Gasper.
Let's stay up all night long.
From Monroe Street to Lombardi Avenue. There is your dagger. This is your daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin!
And there it is. The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
So I put together the doc before we do the game, or before we do the show every day, and I noticed that in segment 1, the 11 o'clock hour, all I write is Packers can eclipse there.
I saw it. I know what it was supposed to be.
Because we talked about it in the meeting an hour ago.
Right. Yeah.
I just didn't finish the thought. Yeah. I mean, I'm hot. Listen, I'm still hopped up on lots of cold medicine, like lots of cold medicine. I'm not that hopped up on it that I don't remember what we talked about an hour ago. Yeah, the Packers can eclipse their division record from a year ago on Sunday with a win. They were so bad in the division last year, they probably should have lost all of their games against the NFC North, but, Carl Brooks and a long middle finger prevented it. And that was really the only thing that stood between them and getting skunked in the NFC North, a division that the Packers, up until last year, had dominated, at least in the head-to-head. Overall, I mean, I know that for a while there, they weren't losing at all to the Lions, and then the Lions have had to come up in the last several years. I get that. They battled the Vikings, they battled the Bears, but by and large, this has been the Packers division. But they were so abysmal last year that with their week 1 win against the Lions, that already gave them as many wins as they had all of last year. And now they, like the rest of the season, it's all about the NFC North. The rest of the season, and I don't know if the NFL did, sometimes I think the schedule makers, they've got a sense of humor. They've got to, sprinkle in some interesting games here and there. I thought last night's game between the Cowboys and the Raiders was, at the beginning of the season, you thought it might be a little bit more interesting than last night's.
Yeah.
It worked out for me on my fantasy team, which everybody loves hearing about. But now the rest of the year, it's like black and blue division against black and blue division. Let's get it on. Let's go. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're setting it up for. And I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. And, when you play everyone in your division twice, I'd kind of like, at least having a little bit of a run through maybe earlier in the season against each of them and then playing them again later on in the season. But to have the Bears like in 2 out of 3 weeks in a row, to have 3 division games in a row here and then another 2 in very quick succession after that, I don't necessarily like it. I don't know how the schedule makers do it and put it together. But this is a stretch that the Packers got. This is the hand that they've been dealt at the poker table. Hopefully you're not playing poker with Chauncey Billups, but it seems like it's certainly a stacked deck.
Yeah, it feels like late season you should see more divisional than non-divisional contests, but I feel you. I mean, 5 games of your last 7 being in division is maybe taking it to the max. You go a long time between it playing divisional matchups. Week 11, you went 11 weeks between week 1 and week 12 without seeing a divisional rival, but 7 games left, not one dud left on the board. I mean, these are legit game week in, week out, as you've already highlighted, Doug, that, you're up for every single one of these games. As a fan, you get up for it. And as a player, you have to feel like they get up for it because it's divisional, or it's maybe the class of the AFC come the time they play the Broncos. And the Ravens are one of the more electric offenses in football, and their defense is getting better as the weeks go on. So I would anticipate, as long as Lamar is healthy come week 17, you got a marquee matchup there as well with Baltimore.
You got Minnesota this week, then the quick turnaround against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, then a mini bye, which is nice, and then Chicago. So that's 3 in a row right there against your 3 division opponents. Then, as you mentioned, Denver, then back-to-back against Chicago. Not back-to-back, but twice in 3 weeks. Reminds me of the 1994. If you ever look at calendar year 1994 in the Packers schedule.
Yeah, I totally remember it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that you'll notice. Because of the playoffs and because of some weird anomalies in the schedule, the Packers played the Detroit Lions 5 times. In calendar year 1994.
Oh, okay. 94.
Calendar year.
Okay,
calendar
so
year.
you get some playoff
So I get them
games
twice in January.
Yep. There's 2 playoff games, 2 week 17 games.
Okay.
And Yeah, than the regular games that were scheduled.
Wow.
So to me, that's my favorite Packers schedule anomaly.
Well, and the lines weren't bad then, right?
No, it was Barry Sanders.
It was the last time they were good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but in calendar year 1994, the Packers and the Lions played 5 times, and no preseason games. Just playoffs do count. Playoffs and regular season 5 times. Yeah, and then Baltimore, Minnesota. So in the last, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Wait, 7 weeks left. You've got 5 of those against division opponents. That's bonkers. Listen, I'm gonna disagree with you, Dave. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's great because all of the patsies, well, nobody in the NFL is a patsy, but all of the teams that when the season began, you figure, this is going to be an easy win, like Cleveland, which obviously didn't turn out to be the case. Arizona, that was a closer game. Carolina, whoops. But all of those other games, the Giants, they were able to beat. Those are all the ones that were kind of whetting the appetite for what's to come and what's still going to happen in front of them. And what's happening in front of them right now is this is where you make your bread and butter. This is where you decide whether or not you're a real team, a real contender, somebody who is going to be, as we all thought at the beginning of the season, especially after the Micah Parsons trade, somebody who could be a Super Bowl contender. Listen, we're going to find out. I shouldn't say I never get upset. I don't try to get upset too much when the teams that I root for don't do well. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and say, yeah, well, if you play like crap, that's what you deserve. You want to see them do better, but this is where the rubber hits the road, man. I'm digging it because the next 7 weeks are going to be fun. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. And I think that the Packers need to prove that this stretch isn't going to be a tough one for their fans. And it starts this Sunday. If they lose to the Vikings, then have to go on short rest to Detroit on Thanksgiving, you're going to feel like, okay, we're on shaky ground here. And if they were to fall in that game, you're talking about an uphill battle to scratch your way back into it. The NFC has been incredibly competitive. There are a bunch of teams in the bubble. Can't quite count out the Cowboys at 5 losses, but you feel like they're on the outside looking in, and it feels like about 9 teams are vying for 7 spots and nothing's guaranteed. So yeah, Green Bay needs to take advantage of JJ McCarthy not necessarily being a particularly strong quarterback quite yet in his career. What we've seen so far is vast inconsistencies from him. You're going to have him in your house on Sunday looking to get that win, which would be, as we highlighted to open the show, their second divisional win already this year after having just won last season.
And I do love the fact that they've got the Bears still twice in front of them. Chicago's 7-3. They're in first place. And they're feeling it right now, and I get it. They haven't beaten anybody, though.
No.
They still haven't beaten anybody. They haven't beaten anybody with a winning record yet.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is going to try and play, because now this week they've got a team with a winning record. They got the Steelers. Rodgers doesn't need surgery. Apparently, that is the report that's just out. He's going to try to play for Nick's Pittsburgh Steelers this week, and the ownership of that franchise. You hope it still continues there, even if he's got potentially a broken wrist that could cause some issues, and tries to play through it. But even still, the Packers being able to get ownership and retain ownership, even when you go from Rodgers to Love, that's another beautiful thing too to be able to see.
Well, the Vikings beat them both times last year. I mean, there is some pride at stake here this weekend for the Packers because you need to beat the Vikings. They are one of your rivals. They are, to most people, your second most significant rival in the division, and to some, your most significant rival. So this is a trophy game of sorts for the Green Bay Packers. You have pride on the line. You have an opportunity to essentially put the final nail in the Vikings' coffin this year. They're 4-6. A 7-loss team would probably be the minimum to make the playoffs, or the maximum losses you can have. So you'd put them on the precipice of elimination by winning this weekend. Eliminate one of the teams in your division and then keep going down the line. And you can do it. You can do it to all 3 of the teams in the division, essentially, with Detroit next week as well.
And I still think that the Lions are probably the best team in the division, perhaps. I know that they've had,
their quarterback can't play outside, so that's a tough break.
Right.
Yeah.
But he won't have to the next 2 days because the Lions don't have to travel. They don't have to travel for Thanksgiving, obviously, because the game is at Detroit, as it is every year. But they also don't have to travel this weekend. They play the Giants.
Dang it! They don't have to go to the Metal Lands.
They do not have to go to the Metal Lands.
Oh goodness!
They've got to play at Ford Field, so they get to stay home back to back. So
those Giants can play you tough, as we saw.
Well, we'll see. We'll see on Sunday whether or not the Giants and the Lions have a difficult game, because if the Lions roll, they're going to be feeling it going into Thursday's game against the Packers. So that puts even more, I think, importance on Sunday's game against the Vikings. So I think this is a critical game. I think every game is critical from here on out. I'm here for it. I love it. I think that's the design of the NFL. They don't have any patsies left. There's nobody that you can look at and say, all right, we're just going to roll them up. Minnesota might be the closest thing to it, but know that the only thing that Vikings fans want to do and Vikings players want to do is do everything they can to end Green Bay's season. Listen, everybody's gunning for you until somebody knocks the Packers. And I know that they haven't won the division in the last couple of years, and it's been the Lions. The Lions still haven't won a Super Bowl. The last team in the NFC North to win a Super Bowl was the Packers, and that was 15 years ago. So, and the only other team before that to ever win a Super Bowl was the Bears in 1985.
Super Bowl shuffle.
Right. But what about all their world championships?
But which one? So
the Bears have 8 championships if we count
9
pre-Super Bowl era?
Yeah, of course. Well, of course you count the pre-Super Bowl era. I'm just when you talk about, if you want to be technical about it, the Vikings do have an NFL championship. It was before the merger, but they lost the Super Bowl. But because the Super Bowl was still a thing. Well, they'll probably give themselves credit for it.
I think it's interesting too. What I think is very important is the fact that they lost back-to-back home games coming into this one. And they don't lose at home like that. If they lose a third straight home game, you're talking about an utter failure, because those are the games you're supposed to take advantage of. You're supposed to win when you're at home and the other team has to come and play in front of your fans. And I think probably 28 of the 32 NFL teams feel like they legitimately have the best fans, right? You always hear that. We have the best fans. We have the best fans. We have the best. Well, the Packers fans statistically show up both at home and on the road like most others don't. So this is an opportunity to give one back, get a win for the home fans who have watched back-to-back terrible offensive performances.
The talking text line open to you at 877-794-1973. Coming up in the next hour, we will check in with Patrick Herb on the Badgers beat. You boys had the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show last night as Wisconsin beat somebody I've never heard of.
Southern Illinois, Edwardsville.
The Cougars.
Yes. Here's what I'm happy about. The rest of the schedule, and I looked at it, I've heard of every team from here on out. And I know who their mascot is. I've heard of them. They're a brand. This is the part of the college basketball season that just drives me bonkers. It's when you've got, I wouldn't put Wisconsin in a blue blood category yet, because I think there's only a couple of blue bloods, like Kentucky, UCLA,
Kansas, North Carolina, Duke.
Exactly. Those are the blue bloods. Wisconsin has been a very consistent program. They are a brand. But then when you have a brand going up against somebody that you've literally never heard of in your entire life, I can't get up for that game. I'm sorry. I get it. We broadcast the games. I'm saying things that are bad for. I understand it, and I'm sorry to our friends at the university. I'm sorry. I cannot get up for a game like that. But you got me the rest of the way. From here on out, I'm in. I'm in. Starting with BYU on Friday afternoon, I'm in.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be fantastic.
Tell me about the show last night.
So the Badgers won big time, as you would expect. They won by 25. They went on a 16-0 run early on in the second half. And John Blackwell and Nick Boyd are really good. They are very good guards, and they're just incredible scoring threats. It's amazing. Nick and I were talking about this last night, where year after year after year, it seems like Greg Gard is able to find himself an elite scoring threat on this team, whether it's John Tonje, whether it's AJ Storr, whether it's Johnny Davis. And now this year with Blackwell and Boyd, they just have these guys, whether they find them or develop them, that can just score and at an elite rate. And this offense, despite losing one of the top scorers in the country last year in Tonje, may even be better than last year.
Yeah, it's a tough bar to clear. I think last year was the first time that they had scored north of 78 points per game in 50 years. Like they had set out to have one of the best offenses, and they have delivered on that. And it feels like now it's one of the best offensive systems. It wasn't necessarily the personnel. It's the system at which the personnel plays in, and they can excel in that system with guys like Nick Boyd, who can push the ball up the court as fast as anyone in college basketball. And John Blackwell was silky yesterday. 5 of 6 from deep, 6 of 11 from the field total. He's the full package. He gets it done on both ends. He's a great rebounding guard. So it feels like you got a star and then some really great auxiliary pieces and guys around him. And 3 guys go north of 3-pointers last night. Austin Rapp, Nick Boyd, and John Blackwell with 3+ threes. I should say Rapp with 3. You're able to score in bunches, and Wisconsin turned it on. They were 1 shot attempt from deep away from their first 40-shot performances from the 3-point range in 20-something years. Dave had that in Fun Facts last night. I mean, this team is putting up shots consistently, and making them is a pretty big deal. So I'm feeling pretty good about Wisconsin, hoping for the best. BYU's a hell of a test, as Greg said many times yesterday with both Matt and Charlie on our post-game coverage or in the presser. You know, this is a hell of a test for a group that now has not played a program of substance since Oklahoma a few weeks back in that scrimmage.
Yeah, an exhibition game at Fiserv Forum. So, yeah, it'll be good to see Wisconsin play, start to play games that are meaningful. So I'm excited to see. I know it's an early game. It's a 3:00 tip-off, I believe.
Yeah, 3:00 tip. Friday. So, that'll be
right as we get off the air.
Exactly. It'll be great. So don't even have to, it doesn't take up the whole night. My Friday night's still going to end up somewhat free, and I'll be ready to go for heading up to Camp Randall on Saturday for another night game.
Looking forward to it.
That'll be fun.
All right. Coming up next, we will check in with Matt LaFleur, his news conference from yesterday. He went long yesterday. He went almost a half an hour yesterday. Yeah. Longer than he usually goes. We won't play the whole thing. After a while, it's like then they start to get into some of the minutia. But we've got the first few minutes of it. So you had some interesting things to say. We'll play that back for you. Also, is the NBA actively trying to get Giannis out of Milwaukee? I'm going to hit that with you guys coming up as well. We'll hear from Luke Fickell. He also met the media yesterday. Patrick Herb from the Badgers PR office. We will hear from him. Brewster's Bites in the 1:00 hour. Top of the hour sports update with Dave Gasper coming up at 12 o'clock. Lots to get to. We are just getting underway. It's D.N.D, the 3-hour version. Thanks to our friends at Carry the G Radio for the taking that first hour, the 10 o'clock hour. Billy and Nags and Armin, of course. D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave on this Tuesday, November 18th on The Game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
All the band on the run. Band on the run. In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first #1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, Get a New Drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to number 5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Journey songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart.
Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you. Oh, we touched away our separate ways.
Number 2, Any Way You Want It.
Even for change. She said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Oh, I said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
Number 1, Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people.
Hear more from Journey and similar artists now. Search for Journey on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a number 1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
Can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
We've got a light in the sky.
Radar Love. Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Billy Joel songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, My Life.
I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
Number 2, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me.
Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's a true baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, it's still rock and roll to me.
Number 1, Uptown Girl.
Uptown girl, she's been living in her white bread world as long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am.
Hear more from Billy Joel and similar artists now. Search for Billy Joel on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Every once in a while, we'll get a text on the talk and text line that I'm just baffled by. And sometimes I'm just going to read it live on the air and think what you guys think. Unnamed in Iowa, who's a frequent texter, says UW Athletics is an afterthought on this station. There ain't nobody who talks more Badgers athletics than this station.
Yeah.
1070 The Game in Madison. Our sister station, of course, the flagship of everything Badgers sports, 1310 WIBA. We have Matt LePay on several times a week. We'll have
Nick Osen on several times a week.
Patrick Herb's on coming up in an hour, a little over an hour from now. What are you talking?
We got Nick Brusewitz, the UW-Madison alum, who is there at Packers.
Who's embedded in everything.
Yeah.
So
what are you talking about?
if I'm correct, this might be the same listener I had regularly on Wisconsin, my month-long solo
The ill-fated.
show. 1 month of fun with this listener, and they are very involved in Badgers. And we talked almost exclusively Badgers for an hour straight every day on that program. And we want to talk Badgers. You know what the football team can do and will do, hopefully moving forward, is make us have to talk about Wisconsin, because when they beat Washington, we talked about that. When they get crushed by Indiana, there isn't as much to talk about there. And the Badgers basketball team, as we've already highlighted, Doug has highlighted, Dave has highlighted, have not played a program that you can hang your hat on quite yet. We're looking forward to Friday, because come Monday, we get to talk about what happened with BYU, and we're going to lean into that.
Yeah. Listen, we're so thrilled that you're out there in the 515. I get it. We're so blessed to have you as part of our audience. There ain't nobody talking more Badgers athletics than this show and this station.
Yeah.
Sorry. But there are other things that we're going to be talking about as well. We are going to be talking about the Packers, because they are still
still the Green Bay Packers.
They are still the Green Bay Packers. We're still going to be talking about, and from time to time, the Milwaukee Bucks. We are still, from time to time, going to be talking about the Milwaukee Brewers, even in the offseason.
Yes, I will make sure that happens.
So, yeah, I mean,
as you know,
as I know, as we all know,
Yeah.
We do have, so there's coming up later on, there's some deadlines today in Major League Baseball, which we will hit. But I mean, an afterthought? Come on now. That's not right. That's not fair. Anyway, the talk and text line is always open to you. At 877-794-1973. Speaking of the Packers, their head coach, Matt LaFleur, met the media yesterday, talked about a number of different items, including some injury issues, as well as the fact that, they didn't necessarily play their best game against the Giants, but at the end of the day, a win is a win.
Obviously, you know what Emmanuel Wilson can do. He's played free quite a bit. So, what does the backfield of Wilson and Brooks look like to you?
Yeah, I thought both those guys came in and did a nice job and just owning their roles. And I mean, shoot, I don't know if you guys saw the pass protection Brooks provided on that last play or that big play to Savion Williams. That's one thing you can always count on Chris Brooks, man. That guy he's gonna do his job, and he is gonna strain while doing it. And so I got a lot of confidence in him. I know he only had the one carry, but I thought he did a nice job on that carry as well, just hitting the hole with some authority. And then Emmanuel, he did what he needed to do as well. And so both those guys, if called upon, I have confidence that they're going to get the job done.
Matt, what makes Brooks so good in pass protection? Like, how's he gotten so good at that skill?
I think it always starts with a desire first and foremost, but I think, he uses good technique, good fundamentals. He strains, he has good pad level. He can use his hands well. I think he's a heck of a special teams player as well. So I think there is a little bit of carryover to that.
Was the Watson pick on the Wiley touchdown, was that intentional?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what happened? I mean, obviously we're great. You put in the playbook. What happened on that?
Well, you are allowed within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage to pick somebody. I think it was just kind of, matter of fact, when I was watching it live, I could see Javon Holland calling off who was guarding Wiley. So my eyes kind of went backside, thinking that that's where the ball was going to end up going. And so when Jordan threw it to Wiley in the flat, I was like, uh-oh, because I just assumed somebody was out there. I didn't see that he got depleted there. So, but yeah, that was just a byproduct, I think, just of the proximity of where you are in relation to the guy that was covering Wiley. And anytime you get press, I think DB's got to do a good job of trying to get on different levels. Either the guy pressing Christian's a strong player. He can fight through contact. You just got to try to press him so hard that the guy can play over the top, or you got to get on different levels somehow, some way.
On the play before that, Musgrave was on the field, and I believe that was his last play. Was he dinged, or did you just want to go look at some other guys?
No, I think it was kind of how the game played out. And I've already kind of addressed it. He absolutely needs to play more than whatever snaps he played in the second half. So we'll make sure that happens. Yeah, I thought Luke. I know that we had the one drop in the flat, really the two drops or whatever. But I thought and those are going to get magnified. But I thought he did a pretty good job overall.
When you say you've already addressed it, does that mean you addressed it with Luke, or you addressed it with your guys, your staff?
Yeah, with our staff. I just think he's a guy that we have to get on the field.
When you look at the 2 extra points that Lucas missed, you mentioned the wind when you woke up yesterday. I'm curious, do you think those were wind related or technique related? What do you think happened?
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether you got to find a way to get it through the uprights, and it was a challenge. There's no question about it. I think the second one was the whole operation wasn't great in terms of the snap. He kicked the laces, which I don't know if anybody's seen Ace Ventura, but as far as I know, it's not a good thing. But yeah, we got to be better all around him as well.
What do you think is it going to look like for Brandon moving forward? It just feels like this has been quite a roller coaster going all the way back to major concern.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you just got to, take in stride and handle it on a day-to-day basis. But I know it's not for a lack of want to or effort. We've got a lot of people trying, and he's trying, and hopefully we can continue to work through this thing.
But that's not an IR situation.
No, not at all.
Rome got shaken up a couple times. Was that aggravating things, or was it that turf crap in his eyes? What happened with Rome?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It sounded like that's what happened. I don't know if he got some of those pebbles in his eye or whatever. On one of the plays, I don't know if did you guys see him post game? No, looked like he was in a boxing match with somebody. His helmet must have slid down, and so he had his eyes were a little puffy. But it speaks to just how tough Rome is and his ability to bounce back and battle back and come back in the game.
I don't know.
And just obviously we all know what type of player he's been for us, and he's been super reliable, super consistent.
So Matt, you said yesterday that you didn't make it easy on yourselves. So as you watched the film on the flight home and then after you get home, what bothered you about the way you played, and what did you really, upon further review, feel really good about?
I would say the missed opportunities is what kind of bothers you. The multiple drops on both sides of the ball. When you look at, I mean, you coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, you had 5 opportunities to come away with interceptions, and we had 1. Where they were you guys saw the tape, you guys saw the game. Those were in our hands. So the expectation is we're going to make those plays. Then I think when you look at offensively, just the 2 critical drops were on those third downs on the first drive of the game. And then obviously one when we just got a stop on 4th down, 3rd and 2. And, I thought Jordan threw a great ball, and unfortunately we just didn't come down with it. And then we had an opportunity where we had a bad snap in the 2-minute where it sure looked like Christian Watson was going to be a big play opportunity. Whether or not we make the play, who knows? But we didn't even give ourselves a chance. So I think when you look at that, yeah, you want to make those plays. And I think the game could just unfold a little bit differently. However, I will say that it's an imperfect game, and you just want to see guys continue to fight and bounce back when it's not going your way. And it's disappointing when you have an opportunity to make a play and you don't make the play, and there's a natural just kind of, I don't want to say letdown, but it can be deflating if you allow it to be. And despite all the adversity, I was really proud of our guys, how they just kept playing. And I think if you do that enough, typically you're gonna come out on the better side of it, which is ultimately what happened.
A, how's Jordan? And B, did you have to adjust anything yesterday with the injury?
No, we didn't. He's doing good. Obviously, he's definitely sore. I mean, that was a pretty big hit. One of those that you just come on, man, can't put yourself in those situations. But I thought I thought he played his ass off yesterday. I really did. I thought he was throwing accurately. He showed a ton of toughness in the pocket. I mean, there were multiple times where he's getting hit pretty good from within the pocket and making throws. So I was really proud of his ability to come back into the game and just show that not only physical toughness, but the mental toughness to hang in there and, continue to keep fighting.
So how does that come on man conversation go with him? Like, he was really proud of getting the angry run in like week 2, right?
Sure.
But then I think back to Rodgers during the Super Bowl season, and he gets a concussion in Detroit, and he's not able to play the following week in New England, and that could have kept them out of the playoffs. How do you get through to him that, hey, I love everything about what you're doing, but you're too valuable for me?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, I mean, things happen pretty quickly out there. I think he, as he was scrambling, he did a little pump fake and actually got the guy to kind of leave his feet a little bit. And so I don't know if he thought he was, a little bit more elusive than what he really is and thought he could get around him or not, but obviously didn't work out.
I think the only
But I do think that's a fine line in regards to how you coach a guy in those situations. There's a lot more feel to it than because things happen so quickly.
All right, that is Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. A few minutes, like I said, he went almost a half an hour yesterday, which is a lot longer than he normally goes on a Monday. Usually Monday is the longest one, and then Wednesday, they're all maybe about 15 to 20 minutes or so on Mondays and Wednesdays. Thursday's a little bit shorter. Friday then is just the injury update. So
yeah, about 4 minutes max.
Yeah.
On Fridays.
So he went extra long today. So he should go extra long on Wednesday.
You would think
it's an extra long week.
Well, it's a week that's got extra long importance.
That's right.
Perhaps because I hate using the term must win unless you're eliminated if you lose. But considering what's coming up on the schedule, considering that they've got, only 4 days in between games because they've got the Thursday game, they've got the Thanksgiving Day game, and they've got to travel. Now they've got a home game this week and then they've got to travel, but the Lions, they don't have to travel this week, nor do they have to travel on the quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them an advantage. And the Lions have the team that the Packers just beat, the New York Giants. Giants aren't a very good team. Schedule makers don't know that. And, whatever. There's no conspiracy there or anything like that. But the Lions have just an inherent advantage just based on how the schedule falls. And that's not their fault. It's the way the schedule falls.
It's a double must win. The Vikings need to win. The Vikings season is pretty much contingent upon winning this game.
Yes.
If they lose, they're 4-7. They probably need to win out to make the playoffs, which is probably not feasible for a team that would be at that point 4-7.
Yeah, and
it's going to be difficult. Yeah,
and you'll see frustration potentially boiling over with Justin Jefferson and how things are going there. It practically boiled over for him this past weekend. And maybe he wants to trade out of there at one of these points. Who knows? Maybe one can hope.
Alex 007 from Cambria writes on the talk and text line, which is always open to you, by the way, 877-794-1973, the NicoletLaw.com. Give it its proper name, NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line. Hopefully Matt is coming up with some new plays so that we can finally use the offense efficiently. Here's an idea. Grease up a pig and let them run out on the field and try to catch it. Good practice.
There you go. You
ever try to catch a grease pig?
I have not.
Not easy.
Have you?
I've seen it.
You've seen it? Okay.
I've seen it. I've never actually tried to do it.
Was that your high school senior prank? Or?
No, okay. I've got family out west.
Oh, okay.
My dad's listen, when you grow up on a farm, my dad grew up on a farm, and many of his relatives are still farmers. When you grow up in that environment, sometimes there are different ways to amuse yourself.
Yeah.
And that's part of it.
Oh, of course.
When you raise livestock, when you raise pigs, when you're, Friday night, it's either you go to the football stadium to watch Friday Night Lights football, but that's only about, 3 months out of the year. The rest of your Friday nights throughout the summer, throughout the spring, you go to the rodeo, and sometimes that's part of the rodeo.
There you go.
Sometimes that's just part of the entertainment.
That sounds like a great time. My neighbors.
It's not bad, actually. It's kind of fun. It's a simpler life, but I like it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a great time. My neighbors, they had pigs, a couple of years ago. Just kind of these big hogs. One of them escaped. Like all of a sudden, I'm looking out the window and I see this pig just kind of running up the driveway. And this is like during the middle of winter.
So how big was this pig and how fast was he going?
Oh, it was definitely a couple hundred pounds. It was a big one for slaughtering purposes. And all of a sudden, just kind of see him basically just trying to make a run for it. And this is during the middle.
If I was going to be bacon, I think I'd probably want to make a run for it too.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. The problem is it was in the middle of winter. We had a bunch of snow, and he tried to turn off the driveway and just kind of go up the street, and he ended up getting caught in the ditch and just fell into a whole bunch of snow and just fell and got stuck there. So all of a sudden I see my neighbor all just kind of walking out. We're just kind of seeing this pig just kind of sinking in the foot of snow that we had on the ground.
I wonder if the pig knew what his fate was.
Maybe. I wonder.
There should be some law, like if they escape, they get freedom. But he
didn't make it off the property though. No. He didn't even quite make it to the street. So he almost got there.
Let's go review on this one, Jim.
I mean, kind of if you do escape, you do get your freedom.
The pylon?
But you gotta maintain that freedom.
Yeah.
Did he maintain control of the ball? Did he finish the catch?
He did not.
It's like the Titans in the Super Bowl, just short.
Well, if you ever go to the state fair, they don't try to catch grease pigs.
No, they just race them.
But they race them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always fun.
Yeah, it's little piggies running.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you grease them up and you try to catch them.
That's the state fair this year.
That's a whole thing. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and then you're betting with your friends. Number two is going to win. He's going to get there. Come on.
So what do they just smear Crisco all over them or what?
Yeah.
How do you get them all greased up?
Yeah. Smear Crisco on them and let them run and
vegetable oil and stuff.
Hey man, whatever you got. Baby oil.
Right.
Usually it's Crisco though. I think they want to make it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they stopped using baby oil because Diddy had it all himself. He cornered the market on it. But it is a thing. It's Alex and Cambria didn't. Yes, now the world is flush because Diddy is he's locked away for a few more years. All right. Keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Patrick Herb coming up next hour. We'll look forward to that. Also, Dave's got a top of the hour update coming up in about less than 20 minutes as well. We'll close out hour number 1 of the 3-hour Tuesday extravaganza because of our friends at Carry the G Radio. So stay with us here on the game. It's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number 1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House. And British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single, Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of '68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you my friend? I promised myself I'd get back. Said I'm gonna try it with a tool.
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
Keep on writing. Proud mirror, keep on writing. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
In January of '69, Creedence Clearwater Revival has a number 2 hit with Proud Mary. The Beatles perform live for the last time on the rooftop of Apple Records in London. And after touring as the New Yardbirds in September of '68, Jimmy Page renames the band Led Zeppelin and releases their debut, which goes top 10 in both the US and UK.
Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my woman left home for a blind man, but I still don't seem to care.
In February of '69, Detroit rockers MC5 released their debut album, Kick Out the Jams, on Elektra Records. Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit with the psychedelic-influenced Crimson and Clover. And San Francisco's Sly and the Family Stone go to number 1 with the single Everyday People.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969, coming up.
Classic Cuts.
Steppenwolf's 1968 road anthem, Born to Be Wild, didn't spring full-blown out of nowhere. It wasn't even written by a member of the band. But there was a connection to the group, as singer John Kay explains.
It was written by Mars Bonfire, a fellow who had been a guitarist in another band that preceded Steppenwolf in a sense, that I'd also been a member of, the Sparrow. When the Sparrow went its separate ways, I then asked the Sparrow drummer and organist to join me and 2 other fellows in LA to form Steppenwolf. Mars had written this tune for one of his solo projects, and he brought it to his brother, Jerry, our drummer, and we liked it well enough. We worked up our own arrangement of it.
Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control. 'Cause of power.
Really leaning into the Grease, aren't we?
I am, yeah. Well, played Grease by Frankie Valli to end
Right.
the last segment.
I'm aware.
Yeah, and now, of course.
Sometimes I just don't want to encourage you.
Yes, but sometimes it needs to be encouraged.
Fair enough.
This is producing. over
So
here.
I understand. Listen, I get
Yeah.
it. When I was a kid, my dad used to drag us all over the country because he worked for the Forest Service. So if he needed to go to, I don't know, Lake George National Forest out in New York State, for example, and I bring up Lake George because this is where I watched the movie Grease more times than I've ever watched any movie ever in my entire life, because they dragged us out there. So this was also the time, I remember I was 15 years old, because it was in upstate New York. It was the one and only time I've been at the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
And they could not get me out of there. It's like, is it time to go yet? No, I'm not done yet.
So much more to see.
I told Erica that one time if we ever got to the Hall of Fame, because she wants to get into a museum and then get out of a museum like within 3 hours. And I just looked at her and said, huh? What do you mean?
Not in Cooperstown, you're
No,
not.
in Cooperstown, like 3 days.
Yeah.
In Cooperstown. So I got one day in Cooperstown, but it was the Lake George trip that, we dragged the camper out to Lake George and camped in this campground. But one of the things that they had a movie theater, and it was free for anybody who was staying there.
Right.
And the movie that they were playing was Grease. Now it was listen, as I've said, I'm old. I ain't that old. It was not a new movie at the time. So this was this was like the mid 80s. So I was a kid. But they just played this movie over and over and over. I probably watched it 12 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was burned into my brain.
Just on repeat. Yeah.
What's the only thing to do?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I get it. I mean, if that's the only movie they got, it's like, hey, that's the movie we're playing this week.
It's like, can we shuffle the deck a little bit on this?
Yeah, they're probably not expecting someone to they're probably expecting people to check out the movie theater like once or something to kill some time, not to be there for 12 times in a row during that trip. But yeah, that happens sometimes. And like those movies or those things just kind of get burned in with those vacations.
And I haven't seen it since.
Yeah. Don't need to see it since.
Nope.
Don't need to see it, but sometimes you have those. Like I remember on some of our vacations when I was a kid, we went out to Colorado one year and just kind of went on a trip around the state, Denver, Colorado Springs, Grand Junction, like all these different spots. And the new song at the time that was just playing on the radio on repeat every single time it felt like we turned on the car was "Brand New Girlfriend" by what was it, Steve Holy, I believe.
I don't even know that song.
Yeah, Steve Holy. Yeah. I got a brand new girlfriend is the name of the song. And it was just on repeat, on loop, every single time, no matter where we were driving. So now whenever I hear that song, all I can think of is our trip to Colorado.
Okay. Got anything like that, Nick?
Nothing that's coming to mind.
All right.
I made a couple of trips from Wisconsin to Florida with my buddy and his family in the car. But
nice. What part of Florida?
St. Petersburg once and Orlando, Universal another time. So
my grandparents used to live in Mount Dora, Florida, which is about an hour north of Orlando. So I know the trip well. We used to drive it at least once a year. So it would be we start in Waukesha, then the cities, because I loved cities. Chicago, and then down to Indianapolis, from Indianapolis down to Louisville through Nashville, then Nashville down through Atlanta, and then Atlanta, the state line was right around Valdosta, and it became Florida, and then then you saw
right
the palm
the Florida
trees.
Georgia line, and
you're at the Florida Georgia line. That's when everything kind of turns into apple orchards, not apple or orange orchards. So
we did
roll the windows down and cruise, and
thank you.
We did PCB once.
PCB
Panama City. Yeah.
Panama City Beach.
Okay.
Yep. We part of the reason that I have such affinity for the quote unquote redneck Riviera is the Panhandle, because we used to vacation on Okaloosa Island. So sometimes we go down to see my grandparents and then go over to Fort Walton Beach and the white sand beaches. It's just right next to Destin. Destin it's got better, I think, PR. Because everybody talks about, Destin's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I love Destin. But you go just a few miles to the west and over to Fort Walton Beach and Okaloosa Island. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's just perfect.
Yeah, Clearwater, another beautiful area down there in Florida. More down. It's not in the Panhandle, but it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah,
go there all the time.
So, anyway, that's this is the brand new girlfriend song?
Yeah, this is it.
Who is this by?
Steve Holy.
I don't know this song at all.
Yeah, this is kind of like, mid 2000s country a little bit there.
All right. Well, you got a top of the hour update coming up. So play us out, Steve. Holy.
Holy. H-O-L-Y.
Play us out, Steve.
Nothing. Man, I think I'm on to something. Because
you are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
baby, right.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to Be Wild, which charts at number 2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are number 1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon and Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to number 1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to number 1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with a little help from my friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you my friend?
That's hilarious.
Said I'm gonna try it with her too.
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up.
Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's happening, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off in 1914. Babe Ruth makes his MLB debut, pitching a 4-3 Boston Red Sox win over the Cleveland Naps at Fenway Park. This week in 1934, Carl Hubble strikes out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin in succession. But the American League comes back to win the All-Star Game 9-7 at the Polo Grounds. Staying in baseball, this week in 1955, St. Louis's Stan Musial hit Frank Sullivan's first pitch of the 12th inning for a home run to give the National League All-Star team a 6-5 victory over the American League at Milwaukee's County Stadium. The American League had led 5-0 after 6 innings. This week in 1972, Robert Irsay buys the stock of the LA Rams for $19 million and swaps the franchise for the Baltimore Colts. The players and coaches are not affected. This week in 1999, Team USA wins the Women's World Cup over China in sudden death. The Americans win 5-4 in penalty kicks, with defender Brandy Chastain kicking the game winner.
Play ball!
And this week in 2010, Brian McCann's 3-run double in the 7th inning provided the National League all the offense it needed to capture its first Midsummer Classic since 1996 with a 3-1 victory.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Idolized as Earth's greatest hero in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Kevin Bacon danced his way into our movie screens in 1984's Footloose. The soundtrack gave us plenty to dance to, including the title track by Kenny Loggins.
Now I gotta cut loose, footloose. Kick off the Sunday shoes. These little wheels.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Your attention, please. We are the gang and the home of D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Gang.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Wisconsin Badgers took on SIU Edwardsville last night, and it was
Cougar. Oh, wait, no, sorry.
And it went about as expected.
Annis with the dribble, try to hand off to Robinson, broken up by Winter, throws to Boyd, lobs to Winter, who sends it down hard. You can see that coming.
Whoa. From Charlie Wills is right.
Nice.
The Badgers went on a great run there. 16-0 run in the second half. They pull away and they win by 25. Next up for the Badgers is BYU on Friday.
And by the way, Jonah in River Falls wrote in on the talking text line. It was nice to hear Butchie last night on the TV call. And it was great. It was great to see him. Great to hear from him. Haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. So, yeah. It was
And he's talking with another friend of ours, Jeff Levering.
Of course.
Yeah. Great to see.
Right.
You know,
it's one of the things that I love about college basketball. It's like, we have all of our,
Hey, I
we
know
get to
that
see all of
guy.
our friends.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lev was on the call for the Badgers football game on Saturday. And was on the call for the Badgers basketball game last night.
Give me more Jeff Levering calling games. I'm all for it. So
You never give me enough Jeff Levering. You can never give me enough Butchie.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree.
And Charlie Wills is great. I don't want to take
I
anything
didn't
away from
catch a
Charlie.
second of that television coverage.
Well, I know
I'm
because
sorry.
you guys were working the broadcast, and I understand that. I'm just saying
I was
that
tapped into LePay and Charlie Wills. You know what is really a special and unique opportunity that I have? I get to go there, set up my gear, plug it in, and listen as it's happening in front of me.
that's true. You don't have to tune
incredible.
in because he's dialed in already.
That's right.
Is that what you do
That's
during
right.
the games? I haven't sat next to you at a basketball game for a couple of years.
And I sit there and I listen to the game and I write down as the guys are saying things, and I'm watching the game happen in front of me with the narration of Matt LePay, Charlie Wills, Butchie, whoever's on color. And then right next to me, I have a television with Monday Night Football. They treat me well.
Best of all worlds. Look at you.
Yeah, you're just living it up.
And
over
because
there.
because Dave, comes and goes as the season comes, it's not necessarily someone sitting next to me. So I got leg room.
leg room is nice. Yeah, I never had that no matter what happens, whether you're there or not.
That's true.
What's an
They
airplane
pack-
like for you, by the way, Dave?
Horrendous.
You're like 6'8".
Yeah.
He once
I need-
came on the show to yell at someone for not giving him their seat because it
No,
was a tall
no.
person's
This
seat.
dude. This dude specifically wanted to get himself the exit row seat because he was worried about his knees sticking out when he was a full foot shorter than me. The dude's like 5'8", and he's complaining to me about how he needed it for leg room, and I'm like, brother.
So
you are talking to the wrong guy.
Is this like a Southwest flight?
It
or
was
something?
Southwest, so it's completely free and open.
Oh, he can pound sand.
Yeah,
You were-
that's
you were-
what I was saying.
if you
But
were-
Billy was siding against me. Armin was against me. I'm like, guys, what are we doing here?
No, those. Listen, I don't know this
He
for a fact, but I
paid to
think
get
they may
the
have been
seat
playing with you.
first.
I
What do you mean
think they were just playing it
He
up
was
just
in
to
a
make
boarding
it
group
fun.
ahead of Dave. I
So?
believe.
Well, who
Yeah.
sat down
Paid to
first? Who sat down first?
He was there first.
Oh, well, then you're in the wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Yeah, no. If he sat down first, then you're in the wrong. It's whoever sits there first.
Like there was still like a spot in the row, but still, it's
No. He sat. If he was sitting down first, then yeah, no. Okay, that's what they were saying. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's still ridiculous.
Well,
And-
listen. If he was there, he was there. That's the way. That's listen. Those.
I'm
Those are
saying
rules.
his excuse, his reasoning for it was ridiculous.
Doesn't matter. He was sitting there.
Oh my god!
It doesn't matter. He was already there.
I'm sorry, Dave. I think they should make, they're talking a lot about, there are some plus size individuals that are complaining about plane seats and maybe needing to be larger, and they should just make leg room for everyone so that tall people don't feel trapped.
No, I
hate
hear
my
you.
leg room. I feel like I have no leg room and I'm 8 inches shorter than you.
So was there any aisle? Were there any aisle seats in the entire plane?
There were plenty.
Then why did you grab one of those?
Because those still don't have leg room, and then I'm just kind of sending them out into the aisle, and I can't have it in the aisle for the entire thing.
I'm so confused. So okay,
It is the exit row.
Oh, it was the exit row.
Yeah, it's the exit row. It's not just that it's an aisle seat; it's the exit row with the
Okay,
extra
so
leg
did
room.
you pay for the exit row?
Well, it's Southwest. There is no paying specifically for the exit row.
Okay.
Like it's just free board.
So you just think that you are entitled to the exit row aisle seat whenever you get on a plane?
I mean, I think that should be for people who actually kind of need the extra legroom, not for the ones who don't need the extra legroom, but then try to tell you how they need the extra legroom.
Well, but it doesn't matter. He was sitting there first.
Oh, goodness.
I mean,
we're still getting nowhere with this.
No, well, obviously.
There's so much more with this update I've got to get to.
Well, we'll get to that, but this is the important stuff right now.
Dave, do you see it like, okay, you're on the subway, there's an elderly woman, she's standing up, you offer her seat. Are you the elderly woman in this situation? Okay, there's a tall guy here, take my seat, I want to move. I mean, is that how you see it? Like you're entitled to it because you're tall?
I mean, a little bit.
It kind of sounds like it. That doesn't sound like a little bit at all.
I mean, yeah. Like that's
okay.
Like everyone knows the legroom battle. Like you see, it's like, oh man, that person's really gonna need legroom because I am crunched. I literally cannot sit anywhere else.
I understand. I think that you might need to make an accommodation for yourself.
If you guys were 6'8", you'd feel the same way I did.
Listen, I'm 6'2". It's not easy being. I understand you're 6'8". But I used to be a lot fatter than I am too. And being 6'2" and fat, that's not easy to get into an airplane either.
By the way, thank you, Madison Weight Loss.
Thank you, Madison Weight Loss.
Yeah.
Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com.
Yeah, there we go.
And mention me. Tell them I said hey.
Yeah,
tell them I said what's
you.
up. And tell them, I want to fit into airplane seats a lot better than I used to, because that's the one thing. That's the first thing that I noticed, by the way. After I lost that shed the way, get onto an airplane, I was like, this is a lot easier now.
Yeah, this is nice. Did they widen the seats? No,
they skinny me is what they did.
There we go. Yeah.
You can start the music. You can start the music again if you'd like, because I completely derailed that entire thing.
We did as a group.
Yeah,
everything we do as a team.
That's right.
This is the first time I've ever been the shortest guy on an iteration of a program I've been on. I didn't realize. I mean, I don't see enough, Doug, to realize that you're definitively taller than me. So I'm the shortest guy here, which is rare.
Not by much.
At 6 foot, being the shortest is rare, but that's my reality. I always had Mike and Arm, and that I was, I cleared.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And now it's like, nope, now you're the shortest.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't have to worry about getting on a plane this week? Jamar Chase, because he's been suspended one game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey, as we talked about a bit yesterday. He said, I didn't spit on anybody. Video evidence showed otherwise, and the NFL viewed that was enough for him to get
that damn
suspended.
video.
Yeah. What's with all these cameras at these NFL games? So Jamar Chase has been suspended.
Did you see his rationale? Did you see what he said, in his appeal? His appeal statement was incredible yesterday. I'm pulling it up real quick here. He had something to say that I thought was ridiculous. He said, quote, if his rep said, Jamar Chase to argue appeal for 1-game suspension, that if he would have spit on Jalen Ramsey, he would have spit in his face instead of on the ground or jersey.
Well,
so
it did.
If he
The trajectory, the trajectory of the spittle wasn't linear straight at at eye level or anything. It was down. It was like and it just went down. I'm not saying he didn't spit on him. I'm saying he didn't spit in his face per se.
If he was going to spit on him, he would have spit square onto his face. Okay.
I think that's probably fair. I'm kind of with the agent on this one.
You spit all over him. It landed on him. It was intentional.
I mean, but again, it wasn't in his face. It was like spitting down. It was, down into the left, down into the left,
down into the left. If Shedeur Sanders wanted to spit on someone, it probably would be the people who burglarized his house during the game on Sunday when he was making his NFL debut. His house got broken into.
That's no good.
As this string of robberies, targeting athletes during their games kind of continues here. But yeah, Sanders had to deal with that after the game on Sunday. Meanwhile, in college football, the coaching carousel is making some moves. James Franklin is now the new head coach at Virginia Tech.
That's good for him.
His buyout drops from $49 million to just $9 million from Penn State. So very good for Penn State.
That's great for Penn State.
They get to save $40 million in sending him out. So Franklin, he gets a new gig over there. Meanwhile, Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin, his family got a private jet from LSU to come by and check out Baton Rouge and take a little bit of a tour of the campus. And apparently, there's a report that Ole Miss gave Lane Kiffin a deadline of November 28th to decide whether he's staying or going. Lane Kiffin was on Pat McAfee a few moments ago and said that that's not true. But Lane Kiffin appears to be the belle of the ball here for LSU, Florida, potentially trying to make a look and take a run at the Ole Miss head coach.
So I'm trying to think of quality of life. So you're living in Oxford right now.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing in Oxford. Then you could move to Baton Rouge, which is actually a city. So you're moving from Mississippi to Louisiana.
That's not that
That's
far.
kind of a horse apiece.
I mean, from 49th to 50th or whatever. I mean, weren't we talking about that with the governor?
And
It's like,
and I can say this as a Mississippi native, born in Mississippi.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was born in Jackson.
I could tell you had the Southern drawl.
I'll wait till I get a couple of drinks in me. It will come back.
Oh, we need to see this.
Mississippi ain't nothing to write home about. There's a reason that my parents left when my mother basically demanded that my dad get a job somewhere that's not in Mississippi when I was in kindergarten. And we landed on Wisconsin, and I've been here since kindergarten. But I was born in Mississippi. Mississippi, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, nor would I Louisiana. So it's kind of a horse apiece right there.
Right. And then there's Florida, potentially.
And then there's Gainesville, which is about 2 hours north of Orlando. So I'm just trying to think of like civilization, because there's parts of Florida that are Mississippi-esque.
Yeah.
And Gainesville's kind of in that area because it's in the north central part of Florida. There's nothing.
They call it the swamp. So
well, there's a reason, because it was a swamp. It's swamp / orange groves. That's all. Like 75 years ago, all Florida was orange groves. That's all it was. So I'm thinking quality
now
of
they
life.
have drugs as well.
Well, now they, just
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're bored, that's how you're going to.
Florida just seems especially, but anyway.
Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi.
They also have
none of them are great.
Yeah, but for football though.
Well, for football, because they concentrate on football so much. That's why it means more. Because there ain't nothing else. It's the SEC. We love our football, and we love football because there ain't nothing else down here. Go Big Suey. So
just grease it up. Yeah.
I listen. LSU's if you're gonna shuffle $12 million a year at Lane Kiffin to move from Oxford to Baton Rouge, I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, but we'll see. He says he loves it at Ole Miss, so we'll see what ends up happening. But it figures to be a dramatic coaching cycle in college football. We'll see what kind of dramatics we get today with the qualifying offer deadline in Major League Baseball at 3 p.m. For most, like Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, it's going to be an automatic decline. Not quite so necessarily with Brandon Woodruff. We'll get his decision today. Also, the deadline to add prospects to the 40-man roster to protect them from the Rule 5 draft is at 5 p.m. The Brewers currently have 2 openings on their 40-man, so we'll see if they end up doing anything there. The Bucks lost last night after Giannis left early with a groin strain. They lose to the Cavs 118-106, and obviously the more concerning part is Giannis leaving with a groin strain.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah, no bueno at all. And also for the Army-Navy game coming up this year, Navy just released their uniforms. The Army released theirs last week, celebrating 250 years of the Army. The uniforms in the script style of the Constitution, hints of purple in the numbers as well. The original military badge for merit, now, of course, Purple Heart. Navy released theirs today, heavily inspired by the USS Constitution, still commissioned, old Ironsides, never defeated in battles, that kind of adorns their helmets. I have not.
I'm going to see it.
I should. I absolutely should.
The Brewers are playing in Boston next year.
Let's go. Gotta make a trip. And so
Boston. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear that.
That's where the USS Constitution is. And it will blow your mind how small these ships and how small the sleeping quarters. They're big ships, but for what they were expected to do. I mean, just
one of the original 6 frigates in the U.S. Navy, also celebrating 250 years. And the Army Navy game is always fantastic. The pageantry every single year, and go Navy, beat Army.
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy, so go Navy, beat Army.
Yeah, my grandpa and my cousin in the Navy.
Nice.
So
My grandpa was in the Air Force, so I guess I'm Team Navy.
So Army. Well, the Air Force wasn't part of the Army, and then it split off to become its own branch. So
the planes land on the boats.
That's the Navy Air Force.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
If he was in the Air Force, that'd be
I am Space Force. Go Space Force.
I don't know that they have a team.
I don't think they have a football team. They should though. That'd be hilarious.
You can play at Donald Trump Memorial Field.
In outer space.
Someone's got
playing a football game on the moon.
Where their stadium should be. If
That would
Space
be
Force ever gets a
incredible.
football team, they should play on the moon.
Just playing on the moon.
Yeah, or the ISS or something like that. The ISS should have like its own football stadium.
Yeah. Who needs those solar panels? Just make a football field out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Is that it?
Yes. Yes, that is all.
Let's see. Pilot Mike says, Dave, you're wrong.
Oh, come on.
No.
A horrible way to start a text.
I mean, in this case, I was with you. I was about to take your side.
Yeah.
Until I found out until I got more information.
Oh my goodness.
Because he was sitting there. If you were sitting there first, listen, I got your back.
Right.
But you weren't. He was sitting there.
He was sitting in one spot. I sat next to him. I sat, in the middle of the row because it was the only emergency aisle spot left.
Well, but there were other aisle seats if you needed.
So you had leg space after all?
Well, I was still in the emergency row. Yeah, just sitting in the middle.
With more leg space.
Do people normally give up their seats for you when you ask them to?
Well, it's not them giving up their seats. Like I've never asked them for that. But there have been some times where some ladies trying to save an entire row. She's sitting there trying to save the entire thing.
The entire exit row?
Yeah, the entire exit
crap.
row. Yeah.
You can't
And
do
the flight attendant's normally around there. And the flight attendant's he needs that spot more than you. That happens all the time. I'm just you are my favorite flight attendant of all time.
You just need to start telling them you're NBA players. Hey,
most of the time,
usually,
flight attendants are standing on the exit rows.
Yes.
Right there to kind of police.
Yeah,
that
kind
because
of police to make sure the right people are sitting there.
Well, it's not that the right people.
Well,
Anybody
you can't
can
have
sit there.
kids there. You can't have the
My God,
the right
what
people
are we
are
doing here?
sitting there.
It's the right people. We can't have the wrong people. We can't
You're
have
in
that.
the back.
The one.
You have to be
You
an
know
adult.
what I'm saying?
I don't know.
The ones who physically can't do it. The ones who are hey, there are the restrictions. You are a child, you cannot be in the exit row.
Right. Did you also see that Southwest has clamped down on people requesting wheelchairs?
Thank God. It's about time because it's ridiculous.
It is. And for the people who legitimately need wheelchairs to get on and off planes, these are the people that I feel the worst for because they're the ones that are legitimately in need of them. Is other people who just want to get to the front of the line. I mean, there was one flight that Southwest was talking about on the news. So some 100 people asked for a wheelchair. It's come on.
Yeah. Seriously?
I mean,
and then, of course, when they actually get to the gate, wherever they're arriving, I'm going to go. Only 2 people need a wheelchair. Then it's really? What
That's
are we
why
doing?
they clamped down on it.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
If it's an honor flight, then yes, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that one you kind of know ahead of time. You're going to have.
Too.
Yeah, that one you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
That you're going to need that. But for all these regular flights, a random Milwaukee to Baltimore, Milwaukee to Nashville kind of flight, you don't need that many wheelchairs generally. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Now they're having to clamp down, and now of course too they're going to assign seating.
I haven't experienced that yet on Southwest.
I think it's starting in February or something I think it's starting early next year is when they're officially going to assign seating everywhere. So maybe that can solve one of my problems here, and I can just get the emergency row tickets, on its own. Because
I mean, if it's assigned seating, 100%.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do.
Southwest, but that's always kind of been the tough part with it. That's what I've always flown, but it's always you got to kind of fight everyone for it. So it's because everyone's it's either you're rushing early on, in the first few rows, or the exit row is almost immediately claimed. Even when you're boarding 8:30, it's just boom, it's already full.
Do you pay to move up to A?
Sometimes I have. Sometimes I have moved up to that A1 to A15, but sometimes it's an extra $200 to do it. It's
you've done that.
Oh, not when it's been $200. Sometimes it's 50 or 35 or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, that maybe I'll do.
Unnamed in the 608. Dave, prior proper planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Again, my boarding position was like A31. So it's like, it's not like I was in that bad of a spot.
No, but there was somebody who was already sitting there.
Get up.
There was somebody who was already sitting there. What do you want me to say?
I'm saying
you sound like the entitled mother who's like trying to kick people out of their first class seats so they can. I just want to sit with my husband because my children are right behind me, but they're back in coach. But I just don't want to be apart from them. It's like, lady, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
I'm saying his reasoning behind it was terrible. That's what I was saying. I didn't kick him out.
Well, no, there wasn't your place to kick anywhere.
No, but
his reasoning,
so
his reasoning doesn't matter. His
and
reasoning
he likes to have leg space too.
His reasoning was, no. That's his reasoning.
Again, I just sat down. I didn't even say anything to him. I just sat down, and then he looked at me and he tells me this story about it. And I'm just
you don't know what somebody else is battling. What if he had knee surgery?
Then he would have said that. He wouldn't have said, "Oh, I want to get here for come worried about my knees sticking out." It's like,
Mike Romero,
brother, no, you're not.
Just pay for first class. Let's see.
In Southwest, there is no first class.
True. Asian Chris Solani. Doug, I thought you were shorter than I, and I'm 5'11". I don't know. Based on what? Have we met?
Based on your voice?
I don't know.
I guess you give up short guy energy. I don't know.
5'11" is not short guy. But
well, to women, it's 5'11" and 6 foot, and it's a pretty big deal.
It's a massive difference,
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I was shorter than. I don't know.
Oily Phil's got some advice here for Dave. The moral of the story is to get your ass on the plane first. Then you get to choose your seat.
Yeah, I love that, Phil. Unfortunately, okay, so maybe I just need to start, going in wheelchairs and just saying I need a wheelchair.
Well, you can't do that anymore. That ship is sailed.
Yeah. I missed out on that one.
Just bring like a egg salad sandwich on the plane and start unwrapping that nearby. People will spread out, get away from you, and then you can have whatever you want.
Not if it's a full flight, though.
Yeah,
if it's a
full flight, which happens often with Southwest.
One of the things that my wife and we've started to do, because neither one of us likes the middle seat, and if it's 3 across, we'll take aisle.
Yeah,
so we won't even sit. I mean, listen,
and then hold hands across the middle.
Yes, we do that through the entire flight.
Romantic.
Listen, if we're going on vacation, she's gonna get so sick of me in the first 24 hours anyway. You're with me day and night. You're with me not only every waking hour, every non-waking hour too. We can sit apart and watch our separate things on the actual airplane itself. It's fine. You don't need to sit next to your partner if you've been together as long as we've been.
Right.
We've been together for 17 years. She's plenty sick of me. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
It's almost my whole lifetime.
On that note.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to tell Dave how wrong he is, you can feel free to.
Or how right I am.
Or, you know what? Maybe that's even better. Is there anyone out there, anyone listening to this show right now that is on Dave's side here? Anybody? 877-794-1973. Anybody? I want to hear from you. And I want to hear your rationale.
Yeah. When I talked about this before with Billy Norman, there were a couple people coming to my defense on the talking text line.
Okay.
So.
Well, I look forward to seeing that again.
I do too.
Time for Dave to stack the deck. Send some texts out.
We will ask Patrick Herb about this coming up in just a few minutes as well. He'll join us in about 10 minutes from the Badgers Communications Department. Stay with us. It's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on the Game Radio Network.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores the number one single, Give Me Love, from the number one album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's sixth album goes to number one with two top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is the number one album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
Can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1972.
We were singing bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove a Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die.
1972, Don McLean goes to number 1 with the single and album American Pie. Paul Simon's solo debut gives him a top 10 hit, Mother and Child Reunion. Fast forward to March, where Neil Young has a number 1 album and a number 1 single with Heart of Gold. And Deep Purple released their quintessential album Machine Head, which goes to number 1 in the UK, number 7 in the US, and features the classic hit Smoke on the Water.
Fire in the sky.
Also in March, the band America releases their debut album. It goes to number 1 and yields a number 1 single with Horse with No Name.
See, I've been to the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Sir Elton John to reflect on how radio can ignite the imagination.
I grew up in an era, and I'm so grateful, after the war, the Second World War, where radio and records were primary source of music. But for me, listening to a play or listening to the radio and hear someone talk and reading a story, you had to use your imagination, like you do when you read a book. You read a novel, you imagine what's going on. And your imagination is the most valuable asset.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
It's D.N.D. here on the Game Radio Network. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper. The talk and text line is open to you, and you guys have been active on it. 877-794-1973. I did ask Agent Chris Solani, who thought that I was shorter than he is, why he thought that. He said, based on the video on the game, I'm sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just look short sitting down,
I guess. I don't know. That's fine.
Shorter than you
But-
are. 5'11", like you said, not short.
But he also knows my mother-in-law.
Oh, boy.
And he knows my wife, but he spelled her name wrong, so you don't know her that
That's
well.
okay.
Ooh.
Autocorrect. It's probably autocorrect.
Hashtag small wool.
Yeah, I don't think Armin has had his name spelled correctly on this tab.
You mean Armand?
Ever.
My mother-in-law, Bev, was the varsity reserve coach for many, 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 many years, tennis coach at Brookfield Central High School.
Wow.
Wow.
No wonder Erica's so good.
Yeah,
that certainly helps.
Yeah, I mean, I married into a tennis family. When I say I married into a tennis family, I mean, they're deep. Erica's in the Brookfield Central Hall of Fame, probably should be in the UTEP Hall of Fame, 2-time All-American at UTEP. Yeah, so.
Married up, Doug.
Totally.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
outkicking your coverage.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's spelled with a K, though.
Yeah. Just
all right.
Just point of clarification.
Point of clarification.
Yeah.
All right, so we have one. And by the way, Dave took a picture of this.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, Dave feels like he's entitled to the exit row aisle seat on every
not aisle seat necessarily, but just
the exit row aisle seat, right? I mean, that's what you were beefing about.
I mean, just being in the exit
you took
row.
a picture of it. You showed me a picture of it that
I
you
did.
keep on your phone.
Yes.
How has this not been posted? It's time to post it.
Maybe I did back then. I don't remember. That was back in March, but yeah, no, like you can see a very large difference in the legroom there.
I don't think anybody's arguing that point.
Yeah.
Allie in Appleton writes, hi, Allie, by the way.
Hi.
So I asked for anyone who was on your side, and I think that I want to get this right. Put on the class. So Dave sits down in his middle exit row seat, and the other guy makes a ridiculous comment about why he picked the seat that Dave wants, but Dave is the bad guy. I don't know that Dave is the bad guy. I just think he's wrong. Because
you guys are making me like I'm the bad guy. Thank you, Allie, for jumping in here in my face.
Women like the bad boy, so
no, I think it's whoever sits down. It's whoever claims the seat first. I mean, you can ask.
Maybe it's this story that attracted your girlfriend. She heard how much of a bad boy you are on planes.
I'm not sure.
That's
I
the
don't
guy.
think I told her that story.
Well, she's heard it now.
Yeah, if she listens,
Yeah.
she's heard it now.
She's cooked. She's gonna tell all the students about it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Red Hot Tim Knott writes, where do we draw the line, though? Because I'm 6'2", 220. Do I have to move for King David in the 11th or King David the 11th? Or can I have tall guy aisle privilege too?
You're fine, Red Hot Tim Knott. Again, you're fine.
What's the threshold? Is it 6'2"? Would Doug classify as someone in need of that seat to you, Dave?
Yeah, I think 6'2" is certainly acceptable for it. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I'll
But
wear my
5'8".
lifts.
5'8", no.
Okay.
No, no,
I'll
no
wear my
chance.
lifted kicks. So I'm gonna be 6'2" coming on. It's like
There you go.
one of those things when you're getting on the roller coaster. Dave's gonna stand there and he's gonna gatekeep that seat and tell you if you're good enough for it or not.
Yep. I think that's what, if you ever want a side gig on the weekends or something like that, maybe you should just go out to the airport and you can apply for a job at Southwest and you can be the gatekeeper. It's like, okay, your aisle seat, your exit row, your middle seat. Sorry, you're short. And
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's a good line of work to get into. Famously, I need to put out some job applications.
Well,
Maybe.
I've always said, if you ever see me at the airport slinging bags,
Yeah.
that's
There you
why.
go.
It's all for the free airfare.
Absolutely.
Airfare.
Yeah, and hopefully then if I do that, maybe I can get some guaranteed extra seats.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe that's got to be my next line of work.
Depends on what airline, I suppose. You could also bump yourself up to first class.
I could. Yeah. Depending where we go with, we'll see who's
AirTran, before Southwest bought AirTran, they used to have like a business class.
No.
And it wasn't necessarily what you would call like first class, but it was 2 across seating, and it was all they would serve you as much as you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And to pay for it was only like $50 more, but You got a free, your bags flew free. The upgrades were easy. Oh, it was like a scam almost. It was too easy.
I miss Midwest Express. They had it the best. I mean, with the two crust eating, the chocolate chip cookies.
Did you ever fly Midwest Express? Are you? Midwest Express.
Yeah, I flew Midwest Express as a kid. Yeah, on our summer vacations and whatnot. Yeah, I remember Midwest.
I know a guy who's been on plenty of plane rides with the Badgers. That's Patrick Herb, and he's waiting in the wings. How about that? Look at me using plane words for you.
You are a professional
bird
broadcaster.
words too. I mean, some people call it a bird, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's the professional segue that we've all needed. So Patrick Herb is coming up, and he'll settle this once and for all coming up, and talk some Badger sports too.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up on the other side. Stay with us. D.N.D. on the game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. And you got us feeling all right.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the number 1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Have we found the same old fears? Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released, featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their 3rd album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
It's Fox Wheels.
Data from S&P Global Mobility shows new electric vehicle registrations soared 51% in September from a year earlier as buyers scrambled to claim the $7,500 tax credit before it expired. Then while major automakers are restructuring over billions of dollars in EV losses, Toyota is announcing a $10 billion investment in an EV battery plant in North Carolina, what the automaker calls a pivotal moment in Toyota's history. We're told once at full capacity, the North Carolina plant will produce 30 gigawatt hours of lithium-ion batteries annually to power Toyota's lineup of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fully electric vehicles. Alongside the plant's launch, Toyota also announcing an additional $10 billion investment in its operations over the next 5 years, it says, to support future mobility efforts. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
D.N.D. on the game. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper, joined for our weekly chat with the Assistant AD of Strategic Communications, Patrick Herb at the University of Wisconsin. Also, the Sports Information Director. Knows all. It's not just football. It's all things sports. Patrick, how are you today?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. We're trying to settle something. So Dave is of the opinion that because he's 6'8", he should have preference on aisle seating on airplanes.
Not aisle seating, exit row seating.
Exit row aisle seating.
Not aisle specifically. I like window seats actually, but
so
exit
how do you,
row in general.
So how do you cram yourself if you don't have an exit row? How do you cram yourself into the window seat?
Well, if I'm not in the exit row, then it's going to have to be aisle pretty much.
Okay. So Patrick, where do you sit on this? Because he's trying to kick somebody out of his seat that he was already sitting in because he thinks he's tall and gets preference.
Okay, this is interesting. I'm a humanitarian, so I emphasize I am not 6'8". I have the opposite problem, so I empathize with somebody who has to squeeze into small spaces. So I would say if somebody paid extra for their exit row, they should not be displaced. That seems like that happens a lot now, right? You can upgrade your seat and pay for whatever row you want. So if somebody paid for that, they probably shouldn't be displaced. But if somebody didn't pay for it and was just put there, I would be okay with displacing it for convenience of somebody who is very tall.
Okay.
But what about when it's Southwest and there is no assigned seating, you know?
Well, yeah, they do now, don't they? Didn't Southwest change their model?
But this was back at the time before they had that. This was a couple months ago that somehow got brought up today. But
okay,
yeah, they should probably reserve it for the big and tall.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
So I mean, Patrick's a very nice person. Patrick Herb is a very nice person. I'm maybe not that nice. I mean, you travel with the team, obviously. Is there a hierarchy as to where the guys sit on the plane, whether it's basketball, football, or any other sport?
Definitely. There's and they're different. There's a seating chart for football. Just about every seat is full, so there has to be a seating chart. You can't really just let it be free for all. But yeah, the veterans and the upperclassmen get to sit in the first class seating, and some of the coaches sit up there. Coach Fickle sits in the middle. He does not sit in the first class seats. He gives up that.
Interesting.
Gives that up to
man of the people.
Veterans. Yep. Exactly. And then the players kind of fill in, and then the steerage class, that's me. I sit in the way back. And, with Matt LePay and Mark Tausch here, we sit in the way back.
Oh, poor Tausch.
We get a seat. That's all. I have nothing to complain about.
I know Heller's a middle seat guy in the back.
Yeah, he probably is. I at least get an aisle, so I've earned that. I sat middle for about 10 years on those flights. Now I get an aisle, so I've grown up in the world. Basketball, though, a little different. They often take a plane that's much larger than the travel party. The travel party for basketball is 30 to 35 people, and sometimes they'll take a plane that has 80 to 100 seats on it, just because that's just ends up being what's available. So you can spread out anywhere you want. In the basketball flights, for as long as I've been with this, and it dates back to the Bo Ryan era, the players sit up front in the front of the plane. Sometimes there's a first class area, sometimes there isn't, but if there is, they certainly take those. Then the staff kind of fill in right after that, and then the coaches sit in the very, very back, the last 3-4 rows. So often there'll be 10 rows of empty seats, and then just the coaches in the back. And Coach Gard is in the very last row because he learned that from Bo Ryan. And Bo Ryan used to say the reason he does it is because he's never seen an airplane back into a mountain, so he always wants to sit in the back of a plane.
That's great. Well, at least Bo's got his priorities.
So Greg
straight.
Gard learned it. So Greg Gard learned that from him, and so the coaches all sit in the way back. And yeah, there's this, I don't know, it probably turns into superstition, and the buses are flipped. The coaches sit at the very front of the bus, and that doesn't make sense because buses can hit mountains, I guess, too. I don't know.
Sure.
Patrick, to get down to the business this weekend, you got the last home game, senior day for the football team. It's an Illinois team that comes in, I think, on an underwhelming stretch. There were high expectations there, and they didn't live up to them this season. But since Fickle's taken over, 6-6 against Big Ten West opponents, no longer a Big Ten West opponent, but a team that you've typically handled. How much do you make of the opportunity for the Badgers with 2 games left, certainly looking to get at least one win, to do it at home against Illinois? I think that's got to be a pretty good shot to do what they're looking to accomplish.
I think each of these last 2 games are really important for different reasons, but also for the same reason. And I agree that this is all games are winnable. I know that Wisconsin went into that game last week at Indiana thinking that it's a winnable game. From the outside world, I know they were massive underdogs, and there was moral victories of just keeping it close at halftime. But Coach Fickle was frustrated after that game, and he said it in Monday's press conference. Like, you probably sensed my frustration post game, and he is frustrated because he knows that this team can compete with the best, and they showed it for 30 minutes in that game, and then just didn't have the same energy, didn't have the same execution in that second half. And so he's the ultimate fighter, that he just wants this team to be able to measure on that level. And for half the game, they certainly did. And so now they're playing teams that are not number 2 in the country, and Illinois is still a good team, and they're well coached. I got a lot of respect for Bielema. Enjoyed him when he was around here, coaching Wisconsin's team, and they're physical, and they're going to present a little different brand of football than Indiana did. But being at home, being senior day, this team's playing with a little bit of momentum, even though they lost that game, Wisconsin, I'm saying. I think that this is a chance to again add another layer to building back to what this program thinks it could be. And then next week with the Axe, obviously we'll talk about that one next week, but that's critical to end the season in a specific way up in Minneapolis. But I'm with you. I think there's a big opportunity here, and I'm excited to see what Wisconsin could do, and another week of letting Carter Smith prepare and build an entire game plan around his skill set.
Yeah, with Carter Smith, I mean, getting his first start this past week, Patrick, just kind of what'd you make of the steps that he took from the game against Washington to this game against Indiana, just kind of getting more of those reps underneath him, being the number 1 guy in practice all week?
Yeah, I thought he handled the day well. And what I mean by that is, you're playing a big opponent. It was loud in there. It's the loudest we've seen that stadium. I've been there when that place is darn near empty, and it was a full environment for once at Indiana. They're supporting a winner. And Wisconsin did not have the pre-snap execution penalties, right? So he was able to manage that. They didn't have dropped snaps and fumbles and things like that. So I thought that was a really good step in his growth, to be able to go on the road and be able to do that and execute and lead the team. In the second half, he had 2 turnovers, and that's something that is critical for right now with this offense being limited the way they are. They can't put the defense behind the sticks like that and give them short fields and give the other team the chances. So, and Carter knows that, and the coaching staff has preached that. So the fumble that he had was maybe one that is really going to be a point of emphasis, that you just can't put that ball on the ground. the interception is one we're gonna probably have to live with some of those, that he's still learning. And being an 18-year-old going up against a top 25 defense in that environment, you're probably going to make a mistake or two. You try to cut him down as much as you can. I thought it was interesting that the game plan did not include a lot of Carter Smith designed runs, and did not as much read option opportunities as they did in that first week against Washington. Part of that might be to make sure you protect him, because you don't want to be getting down to your second and third, which this season would be the fifth and sixth, if you will, quarterbacks. But that also could have been just part of how the game flow played or the game plan. And I wonder if they'll bring a little bit of that back this week. His numbers aren't going to wow you, but I thought there was enough to build on there that you go, okay, that was a positive step forward, even in a loss.
Patrick Herb joining us, Sports Information Director at the University of Wisconsin. I want to bounce over to hockey just for a second, because I think we take for granted perhaps the success that the women's program has had historically, still ranked number one in the country, defending NCAA champions. But over on the men's side, how cool is it to see the Wisconsin Badgers at number 7 for the second straight week, starting to fill up the Kohl Center? I know that the break is coming up, but man, to have both hockey programs skating as well as they are right now, that's got to be fun for you guys.
Totally. This school is better when the hockey team is better. I firmly believe that. And we've had some glory days, as you know, and we've had some times where hockey kind of gets forgotten. And you're right, this season does seem like they've really got a talented group. They've got a goaltender that's going to keep you in almost every game, and some young firepower. You said the break's coming up, yes, but they've got an important one this weekend. They do. Number 1 Michigan State. And Wisconsin just came off a series where they played at Michigan 2 weeks ago, and lost a tough one on Friday, but came back and spanked them on Saturday. And Michigan, number 2 team in the country. So if they can go to Michigan and do that, I think they can compete at Michigan State as well. And they're sitting there 8-2-2, probably exceeding everybody's expectations and really setting themselves up. Even a split this weekend would be awesome at Michigan State, where again, you go into the break feeling like, okay, this team is in position to be a postseason team and maybe have some exciting March hockey here, which has been not something that we've had regularly in the last 10 years or so. The Mike Hastings hire seems like it's fitting really nicely here.
Patrick, just a couple more minutes with you. I want to highlight the Badgers men's basketball team. They win last night. They're 4-0 on the season, but even counting exhibition matchups, they haven't left the state this year to play a basketball game. Now they head out to top 10 ranked BYU before a holiday tournament on the road as well. You think this group is tested enough, or will we have to wait till Friday to know exactly who we got in that locker room?
Oh, I don't think they're tested enough at all. No, I definitely not. And, the next 7 games are all against major conference teams. So they're going to hit this stretch run where it might as well be Big Ten play. And then, it starts Friday against a really, really good BYU team. BYU team that's going through a little something right now, though. They had a guy get picked up for DUI, which I don't think you can do in any school, but definitely not at a Mormon school.
Ooh,
they had an injury, I know, to one of their... They had an injury to their big guy Kita. That his status is maybe a little up for grabs.
It's a good thing they got that G leaguer.
Yeah, that's a different conversation we can have. But I love what I've seen so far. This team certainly can score. I think they have not played a team with size yet, so that's going to be something that they're going to. I'm not going to say they're going to get exposed. I think they're going to have to learn and figure out how they're going to measure up with a team that has skilled, powerful big men. How can they rebound against that? But what I love is this team seems like we're really early. I get it. It's November, but they seem like they're a team that's built for March in that they've got really strong guard play, really dynamic guard play, guys that you can end of the shot clock, go get me a bucket. Boyd and Blackwell, they're the highest scoring duo in the Big Ten right now. Both of them are almost 20 points a game. And they're filled with shooters, which, again, you need to be able to shoot and come March. And it used to be a game where defense is going to win you championships. I think college basketball has changed enough that defense is good and defense travels, but you got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to score. And I really love the way the composition of this team so far. But I'm thrilled and excited to see how these next 7 games are going to go, starting with Friday. I'm not on this road trip to BYU and San Diego, but I'm jealous of everybody who is, because it's a long one. I think they're going for 11 days straight. Wow. They're going to be on the road, but should be a lot of fun, and 2 pretty good locales they're going to visit.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. We'll talk to you again next week, and let's go get a win on Saturday.
Looking forward to it.
All
Hey,
right.
boys.
There goes Patrick Herb from the University of Wisconsin Brand Communications Department, SID, joining us here on D.N.D. on the Game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like them even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Ain't it time we said goodbye?
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the #1 album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a #1 single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a #1 single and a #2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of '73, Stevie Wonder is back with the #4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, have a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who. Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and scored #1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
All the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first #1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single.
Everybody says she's looking good. And the lady knows it's understood.
In March of '74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, get a new drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to #5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better. When you get home.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and release the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to #1 in both the U.S. and the U.K. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album, Toulouse Street, with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of '72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a #5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoople get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at #3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
Fox on Tech.
Wall Street is betting big right now that everything you buy and sell, from gold to real estate, will all soon be tokenized, ending slow paper-based trading, moving into the future of 24/7 instant digital trading. Like trading stocks, you own a piece of real estate or gold, for example, but it's bought using stablecoin, and you can do it anytime, day or night. Right now, buying a bond takes about 2 days to finalize, but Wall Street leaders like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citi are all preparing, building a tokenized stock exchange to handle these instant trades. However, the U.S. isn't the first country to look to break into this. France unveiled the first ever tokenized stock exchange, calling it the Lightning Stock Exchange, leaving many U.S. crypto advocates frustrated. Here in the U.S., the Genius Act, signed into law by President Trump this year, creating a regulatory framework supporting stablecoins, a key digital asset in tokenization. With Fox on Tech, Darren Botello, Fox Business.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the game.
Final hour underway. D.N.D, Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper, the 3-hour edition. I would say it goes so fast.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of like that sweet spot,
Yeah. It just feels comfortable. You got plenty of stuff to get through. Feels like you maybe have a little bit more, but you're not stretching a little bit.
Got to make fun of Dave a little bit for...
Yeah, that was not my favorite part of the show.
Well,
if I'm being honest here, but...
Well, listen, yesterday it was Nick. Tomorrow it'll probably be me. So
yeah, that's fair. We got to rotate. We got to take turns with that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not above it, depending upon what it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm astonished that you took a picture of it and haven't posted the incident on the airplane.
Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps.
I mean, I don't remember if I did back in March, back when I was flying back from spring training when this happened or not. But yeah, it was.
Is that when that
like the picture kind of tells like
nobody's questioning that. I mean, if you're a foot taller than the guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's questioning that.
But for him to say like, oh, like he's trying to say he needs the leg room like I do. It's like, no, you don't.
But, he got there first.
Yeah, I'm searching Dave's X account, keywords like plane and leg space, and I can't find anything. The most recent plane-related tweet came in 2023. It was December 24th.
Was he bitching about leg room then, too?
Oh, goodness.
It was bitching about the Packers defense, saying, quote, Packers defense carved up like Swiss cheese on that drive. This is absurd. Don't let Joe Barry get on the team plane.
I see.
Yeah.
And how the tables
was I
turned.
wrong? Was I wrong?
No. I mean, they're much better with Jeff Hafley as their defensive coordinator. Of course, they're going to be in the market for a new one at the end of the season anyway, because Jeff Hafley's going to be a head coach somewhere.
Oh, hey now. Now, why do we got to take the pessimistic view of things?
Well, we can be happy. We can be happy for half.
Yeah, happy for him, but not happy for this Packers defense.
I search up leg room, and there's like 3 tweets, 2 of which are just pictures of Dave's legs in the seat saying, look at all this leg room. I'm actually going to be comfortable
what
on
was that,
this
like
flight.
2015 or something?
2021. I'm actually going to be comfortable on this flight.
Okay.
Hashtag tall people problems. 2023. Thank God for the emergency row. Extra leg room.
Oh, my God. The old tweets.
Most recently, last year, you said when it said Southwest is making changes, you said, thank God, trying to battle people for the emergency row so I can get some leg room has been miserable, was just miserable. There's always someone who doesn't need it that takes it. You manifested that come March, a guy would take it even though he didn't need it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
man.
So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But
I started my Twitter account when I was 13, which was against the rules, I guess. So they actually scrubbed those tweets from my record, which I think is a win because I don't know what.
Probably.
Yeah. There can be a lot of trouble you can get in with old tweets. What we tweeted back in like 2011, 2012, all those things, the early days.
I actually think you have to be 13 to start an account, and I was 12.
Well, that's also what they said for like Facebook too. Then all of a sudden you see your high school friends and it says that they're 25 years old. It's like, wait a minute. No, they're not. Like
they may have just lied online.
They lied on their birthday thing when they signed up for their account. But
Two
but that's
months
what it
after
said.
I got this job, I was prompted on X to submit my birthday. So it said, like, hey, so people can celebrate your birthday. I'm like, whatever. I punch it in. Instantly locked out of my account. The moment I put it in. And then I had to go through a process of reacquiring it. And eventually I did get it back, but they had scrubbed my tweets from before.
Well, they're just trying to protect you. I would say that's a thank you, Elon, or whomever was running
So
it
I
at the time.
briefly had a different account on X, and I'm grateful for like the 400 people that followed me that week. And then I had to, make it my backup account in case I get locked out again.
That's all right.
Burner.
So I just got new yesterday. Got new headphones for the flight for Hawaii coming up in February. So I'm looking forward to that. So 9 hours. Headphones are going to crush you. Anyway, the headphones that I'm wearing right now are not going to crush me. But what is coming through my headphones next is what's coming through your speakers next, and that's what we call Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
It's time for Bruiser's Bites.
I like that for a segue.
There we
with
go.
the 1 o'clock
Well done.
hour. I love it. Segues are my thing. And Doug, you nailed it there. Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, their thing is concrete coatings, and they do it as good as anybody with their polyurea coating, 6 times stronger than your traditional epoxy. This time of year, it's going to be slip resistant when wet. That's huge. You're getting in and out of your car, in and out of the weather. Snow is coming. I got a text, a video from my mom today. Huge flakes in Ripon, Wisconsin today. So snow is here. It's not necessarily coming down in Madison, but it's around the corner. So visit wiconcretecoatings.com and see if they can still get your garage floor coated before the weather officially arrives. wiconcretecoatings.com. And since we were talking Badgers with Patrick Herb, that's where we'll start. Last night, the Badgers win 94-69 over SIU Edwardsville, and John Blackwell led the way with 24 points on 6 of 11 shooting, 5 of 6 from deep. This is what he had to say about the team's growth so far in the season.
I think we got better every game. I think we got to grow and learn each other's game a little bit more every single game, and it's only going to get better. It's the only way up is for us, and I think we're playing defense together a little bit better. Obviously, that first half we gave up 20 points, but like second half, that maturity showed, our leadership showed, and just buckled down the second half.
Badgers have had some, I would say, precarious game scripts at times so far this year. Campbell gave them everything that they had for about 60% of their opener. Last night, you saw a battle that I felt no one anticipated with SIUE, but they're coming out on top. They're winning every game by 24 plus. I think that so far what we've seen from this team is they're good. When they're on, it's great.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think that Wisconsin they're going to have a tall task against BYU coming up on Friday afternoon, but I think that'll be an entertaining game. Sometimes you get off to a start and you play down to the level of your opponent and you make some halftime adjustments. And I think we've seen that for the no-name games that Wisconsin has had, including last night's game. But listen, when you've got as talented and as experienced of a group as Greg Gard has, I mean, you're bringing back Nolan Winter, you're bringing back John Blackwell, as you mentioned. They've got, a couple of really key pieces that are experienced key pieces, just not experienced at Wisconsin. Some newcomers like Andrew Rohde, who I think is going to be someone, Nick Boyd is going to be someone that will become household names as the basketball season moves along. I'm not worried about Wisconsin basketball at all. I think they're going to have a really entertaining season. It doesn't matter to me what happens necessarily on Friday. It'll be a tough game, but you want to start seeing that as the Big Ten season gets a little bit closer. You want to be tested, and I look forward to it, and I embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the start of the season, and Greg Gard talked about this a little bit yesterday too, just kind of having 4 games being the max you want to go with some of these, weak games against SIU, Edwardsville, Campbell, places like that, before you really get tested. And that's what they're going to have coming up. So, I mean, I think this team's in a really good spot. They got a lot of really good scores. And, even though they did kind of struggle defensively there in the first half with SIUE putting together a pretty strong punch, they did not turn the ball over. Just one turnover until about 7.5 minutes to go in the second half in the entire game. So the Badgers, they took control of the ball, which is what they have done for years and years. And that's a big part of their success as well.
Well, they're going to look to continue the early season success with a far tougher challenge, as we've already highlighted. BYU, top 10 ranked team in the country. That comes Friday in Salt Lake City. Technically a neutral site game, right? Because it's not on campus.
Yeah, it's at the Delta Center.
But it's right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a road environment.
Yeah. It's a road game.
So far this year, Wisconsin hasn't played any programs of great substance in regular season play, but they opened their exhibition season with a matchup with Oklahoma. And this is what Greg Gard had to say about facing BYU on Friday.
Well, our hands full. But it's great for us. We need it. It's a great opportunity in this time of year to play a game like that against an exceptionally talented team, quasi road game. But that's why you do this. It's what these guys want, these type of games, and so do I. So we're looking forward to Friday.
Like I highlighted, Wisconsin fell to Oklahoma 84-83 at Pfizer Forum in late October. And I think that has a lot of value when you get set for BYU. Do you think that matchup with Oklahoma is maybe the most significant one to look back on for this group?
Yeah, because I don't take anything away from, the programs that they have played within their leagues. So, Platteville is a good team in the WEAC. Campbell is, I'm sure, a quality program in whatever the hell league they're in. Yeah. I'm sure that SIUE is a quality program in
the OVC,
whatever the hell league they're in.
Yeah. Well, whatever the OVC is.
Ohio Valley Conference?
Ohio Valley Conference? Sure.
There you go.
I think that's what. So anyway, yeah, I mean, when you play a game like Oklahoma, and it was the first game of the season, and it was an exhibition game, yeah, you can test a few things out against quality opponents. That's what I look at the entire, air quotes, preseason as. And yes, these games count. The game against Campbell counts. The game against Northern Illinois counts. The game against Ball State counts. But now when you get into, like I said, BYU, Providence, TCU, possibly Florida, you got Marquette certainly coming up. You've got Villanova as a non-conference game coming up. Before you really get into the Big Ten season, for me, we're now done with the preseason because we've heard of all of the teams and all of the conferences that the Badgers are going to play from here on out. So you look back at Oklahoma, and yeah, I mean, it was a one point loss. You test out a few things, and let's go out and let's play some games for real.
Yeah, and you get the teach tape from that. I mean, you learned you had those close game, late game experiences with these guys, so you can go back in the film and look at things that you can improve. So that definitely has helped them and should help them here going forward. But you had these games early on. I think you need to help get this roster to gel because you do have 3 starters who are transfers in this year, along with the 2 returning starters and a couple other transfers on the bench as well. So to try and get this whole group to gel, I think there is something to these early games against kind of weaker opponents to help this group kind of find their footing. But now you're going to get that first true test here with BYU. And they've gotten as much run as they really can to get themselves figured out before they get to it.
Transitioning to the Packers, looking to figure themselves out, step in the right direction, getting the W over the Giants, but drops were a major problem for the second straight week. I would argue more of a problem against the Giants just because the sheer number of them than they were against the Eagles. But this is what head coach Matt LaFleur had to say about his team hanging in there with the drops and getting the W.
You just want to see guys continue to fight and bounce back when it's not going your way. And it's disappointing when you have an opportunity to make a play and you don't make the play. And there's a natural just kind of, I don't want to say letdown, but it can be deflating if you allow it to be. And despite all the adversity, I was really proud of our guys, how they just kept playing.
They did play and they won. It's important that you get victories when you have the chance to. In this past weekend, the Packers capitalized. But as I've highlighted, crucial drops against the Eagles, lots of drops against the Giants. So somewhere in between those two teams, in my opinion, the Vikings fall. Can they survive another similar output in terms of drops against the team of the quality of Minnesota this weekend?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Can't
Not
do
a
it.
chance.
Not a chance. You need to be able to. It's just one of those fundamental things of football. It's like, can you afford to not block? No. Can you afford to drop passes? No.
Can you afford to not tackle?
No.
No.
It's just, you can get away with certain things against teams that are kind of going through it right now. And the Giants are a team that's going through it right now. They just had a coaching change, just had a quarterback change. They've had a lot of injuries this year. Yeah, I mean, as the opponents get better, and Minnesota, I don't think is a bad team. They just haven't figured out their identity yet. I don't know that J.J. McCarthy's a great quarterback or even a good quarterback in the NFL. He might be somebody who tops out as a mid quarterback in the NFL. But Kevin O'Connell will figure it out. I think he's a really good coach. So I look at Minnesota as a team that, still needs to figure a couple of things out. But after that, yeah, it gets a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder against Denver. It's going to be a lot harder against Detroit. It's going to be a lot harder. Listen, I know Chicago hasn't played anybody, but you got Chicago 2 out of 3 weeks coming up. Things are going to get a lot harder against the Bears because you know that all of those teams, especially the ones in your division, they're licking their chops after what happened last year when Green Bay only came within one Carl Brooks, middle finger, not, flipping anybody off, but that's the deflection of the game-winning kick that didn't go through. They almost swept Green Bay last year. And they love the other teams in the division because Green Bay has got all of the things that they want, all of the championships, all of the Super Bowls, all of the, postseason accolades that have eluded the rest of the NFC North. So it's a big point of pride. And any opportunity that you have to not screw yourself up, you have to take. So they can't get away with it. There's no way. No way.
No, absolutely not. You have to be able to be better at catching the ball when that's specifically your job as a wide receiver. They can't afford those kinds of drops because, they barely got away with it against the Giants, who were 2-8. And now you got the Vikings, who, even though they haven't been quite as good this year as they were last year, and they still kind of have their issues. It's going to be a tough game. Now, J.J. McCarthy out there at quarterback for the Vikings. He is the basically second worst passer, or has the second worst passer rating in the NFL this season. The only one worse is Shedeur Sanders, who just made his first appearance on Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't
going
count.
4 of 16.
So
McCarthy's the worst. Worst pass rating of anyone with more than one game of NFL experience this year. So this is an opportunity for the Packers to, again, get themselves a little bit right there offensively. And, of the group, this is perhaps the team where they're most able to get away with that kind of drops. But in general, no, you're not going to be able to get away with dropping the ball as much as they did, especially against the Giants.
Well, if they do end up having to lean heavily on the running game because for whatever reason, passing game can't get going, it may be without Josh Jacobs. We know that he's week to week now, didn't suffer a significant injury, but he suffered an injury, a contusion to his knee. So could be Chris Brooks and Emmanuel Wilson this weekend. This is what head coach Matt LaFleur had to say about his confidence in those two.
That's one thing you can always count on, Chris Brooks, man. That guy he's gonna do his job, and he is gonna strain while doing it. And so I got a lot of confidence in him. I know he only had the one carry, but I thought he did a nice job on that carry as well, just hitting the hole with some authority. And then Emmanuel, he did what he needed to do as well. And both those guys, if called upon, I have confidence that they're gonna get the job done.
Will they be enough, those two running backs, Wilson and Brooks, to kind of pick up where Jacobs left off? Or do you think that Jordan Love will have to shoulder an additional load this weekend in their opportunity to win?
Can the answer be both? Because I really love and have since the day he set foot on the Lambeau Field campus, the way that Emmanuel Wilson goes about his business. I always thought, his pass protection when he first got to Green Bay wasn't very good. And the thought process was because you can't use him in pass pro, not necessarily a good special teams player. Yeah, he runs hard, but there's probably not a place for him on the 53. This was a couple of years ago. I was like, yeah, but he runs the ball really hard. You got to figure out how to keep him around because if you do let him go, somebody else is going to pick him up. And the Packers wisely have kept Emmanuel Wilson around for the last several years. Hasn't gotten a ton of carries because when you've got Josh Jacobs and he's healthy, he's a workhorse. He's one of the elite running backs in the NFL. But what we've seen with Emmanuel Wilson is when he does get those carries, when he does get the opportunity, he can perform. He's improved in pass pro. He's not great at it yet, but Brooks is elite at it. And sometimes it just, like Matt LaFleur says, pass protection is a lot about effort. It's a lot about, you just want to do it. And as Wilson's profile and opportunities increase, however long Josh Jacobs is out, and hopefully it won't be very long, I think he's going to get better at that. But I also think that Jordan Love, knowing that he doesn't have number 8 in the offensive backfield, no offense to number 23, but he doesn't have number 8. He is probably going to have to shoulder a little bit more of the load as well. And I really want Christian Watson to get even more involved in the offense than he already has been. I know he had 2 touchdown receptions, but he only had 3 catches. Time to start targeting number 9 more too.
Yeah, absolutely. And with, I kind of wonder what Matt LaFleur is going to do, knowing that if he doesn't have Josh Jacobs, will he lean as heavily on the run game? I think a lot of it will depend on how much Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks are able to effectively move the football when they do run it. So, I think those guys are going to be able to have a, pretty decent game. I really do like Emmanuel Wilson as well. I think he'll be able to do some good things. So we'll see, but it is definitely going to lean a little bit more heavily, I think, on Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur just has to prepare that way. when he's looking at the game plan for what they're going to do, knowing that you don't have your top running back, that you don't have Josh Jacobs, that's going to mean you're going to have to game plan for a little bit more of Jordan Love to throw the football. And I think that's what he's going to have to do. So it's going to be a large part on Love as well to step up and be able to have that production.
Well, looking for better production from their quarterback position, as you've already highlighted, are the Minnesota Vikings. Head coach Kevin O'Connell saying of J.J. McCarthy's fundamentals, "I'm eager for the cement to start drying," which is a unique way to say that his fundamentals are not there and they need to be there, and he's impatient. This is what he had to say, though, about McCarthy's work ethic. This comes from K-Fan.
His ability to still respond like he has a couple times now and move the team late to get a lead. He's made of the right stuff. He's going to keep working at it. We're going to go back to work and continue to find every avenue, every way to try to help build the consistency to his mechanics. And then I firmly believe the accuracy will come.
I mixed up. I conflated. K-Fan with the quote I read prior. This is from the presser, of course. Is JJ the X factor this weekend, in your opinion? Do they go as he goes? If he has a strong game, they win. If he fails, they fail.
Not necessarily, because I don't think JJ McCarthy is very good as far as being an NFL quarterback. I don't know that he's ever going to get it. I think that his coach knows that. What we have heard from some reports out of Minneapolis is that they've been trying to gas him up as much as they possibly can because they've got a lot invested in JJ McCarthy. They think they have, or at least thought at one point they had a franchise quarterback. I just don't think they do. Maybe he'll get it. And like I said, maybe his top out is a mid NFL quarterback, which is okay, but you're not going to win anything with that. But you can, with the rest of the guys that are around him, make life hell on any team that doesn't bring their A game into either a home game at US Bank or, in this case, Lambeau Field on Sunday. So I don't know that it's necessarily as JJ goes, the Vikings go. I think that there can be some teams that can just not bring it, and Minnesota can win. But they're not going to win anything, I don't think, with JJ McCarthy at quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's true in the sense that if your quarterback performs poorly, generally you're going to lose. If your quarterback performs well, generally you're going to win. It does help out if McCarthy has a really good game, it's going to give them an opportunity. But the point, I think, really for the Packers is you have to really put yourself in a very strong position heading into that fourth quarter, because we've seen a number of times that McCarthy can be terrible for the first 3 quarters of a game and then all of a sudden just turn it on in the fourth quarter. And next thing you know, he's storming them down the field and perhaps running a late comeback on you. So, I think that's something where Green Bay is going to have to, really jump out to a nice, big, comfortable lead. You can't play another close game here, because that's where McCarthy can cause you some problems, cause you some headaches there in the fourth quarter, as we've seen throughout the season.
And we'll end here with this, as you already highlighted. Jamar Chase, Bengals wide receiver, has been handed a 1-game suspension for spitting on Steelers safety Jalen Ramsey. And Mike Tomlin was asked at his presser today about that situation. Hey, if you have any words for Ramsey, did he handle the situation right?
I have no message if someone spits in your face. Do what comes natural.
I didn't mind his player getting ejected. If someone spits on you, I guess anything is free game for Coach Mike Tomlin, who's been long considered a player's coach. Ramsey got ejected after he got spit on because he retaliated. I can't blame him, and I'm happy the coach didn't make it into something larger than it was.
That's Mike Tomlin. That's, he's authentic. Players love him. That's why he's got the respect that he's got around the NFL, not just in his locker room, but I think every locker room. I've got no problem with it. And he's right. Listen, somebody spits on you, just do what you got to do. And, if you get ejected, you get ejected. And again, we were talking about the trajectory of the spittle. It wasn't necessarily straight, face to face. It was more kind of down. But there was, he got spit on. So listen, somebody spits on me, I don't know what the response is going to be. I'm not generally a fighter, and I don't have the body armor that these NFL players have, but it's not going to be pleasant. I know that.
Yeah, the guy sitting next to me on the airplane in the exit row, he spit on me.
Did he? See, now that's
did he really?
If that's the case, that
changes things.
That changes everything.
Yeah, but I totally get what Mike Tomlin's saying. I appreciate it. I think it's fantastic. I mean, what do you expect a guy to do? I mean, you can only preach restraint so much, but at some point it's like you got to respond. You got to do something. It's just a natural reaction.
Sure.
When someone does that. So I don't blame Jalen Ramsey at all. I mean, initially when we first look at it from the far away view, everyone's like, "Oh, Jalen, what are you doing?" But then when you see the spit, it's like, "Oh yeah, no, that makes sense." Yeah, I can see why he did that now. In fact, he probably should have done more.
Right. And for what it's worth, just talking about tenure, Tomlin in his 19th season in Pittsburgh, longest tenured coach in the NFL currently, 1 year ahead of John Harbaugh, who's in his 18th year with the Ravens. As it stands now, Matt LaFleur, like 5th longest. I mean, it's not a job you keep for a long time. Year 7 right now for Matt LaFleur. And
will he get 8?
That's the question we'll ask ourselves rest of the season to figure it out. And drops will be important there, as we've already highlighted. Got to stop dropping the ball if you want your coach to keep his job. All of that brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. You spit on their floors, it's going to be slip resistant when wet, so don't worry about it.
I like that.
There you go.
That's, again,
I don't know who's spitting on floors, but maybe you got like a tobacco situation and a spit cup. You're trying to challenge yourself.
The segues are.
Yeah, you miss out on the spittoon that you got in there, and
that's right.
Trying.
Our guy
like
Brian
Posey
comes in every once in a while. He's got
a spit cup.
He's got a spit cup. He's got it all at like 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm like,
at least
whatever wakes you up. He's probably already been up for 4 hours.
Maybe. Who's to say? All right. Thank you, Nick, for Bruiser's Bites. When we come back, we haven't heard from Luke Fickell yet. He held his weekly news conference yesterday in Madison. Play a portion of that coming up as well. Also, some baseball qualifying offer deadlines are coming up. I know we touched on that for just a second in the top of the hour sports update with Dave at right around noon or so. And also Cam Scattaboo, if we have time to talk about this.
Oh, my goodness.
This clown. I think he's perfect for New York. I really do. I think he's just absolutely perfect for not even necessarily New York. He's perfect for New Jersey. He's gonna fit in. He's gonna fit in real well there.
That's more accurate.
Yeah. All right. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper on this Tuesday, November 18th. The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line still open to you. Of course, we don't close up shop for another 33 minutes here on the Game Radio Network. 877-794-1973.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released. Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town, In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But you used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
We were singing bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove a Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die.
1972, Don McLean goes to number 1 with the single and album American Pie. Paul Simon's solo debut gives him a top 10 hit, Mother and Child Reunion. Fast forward to March, where Neil Young has a number 1 album and a number 1 single with Heart of Gold. And Deep Purple released their quintessential album Machine Head, which goes to number 1 in the UK, number 7 in the US, and features the classic hit Smoke on the Water.
Fire in the sky.
Also in March, the band America releases their debut album. It goes to number 1 and yields a number 1 single with Horse with No Name.
See, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the number 1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to number 1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fears. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
Eric Tasker here from Tailgate Talk. Paul Wagner and myself are back with a new episode everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts. In our latest episode, we gather around the tailgate and talk about the rut in Wisconsin, successes, letdowns, and just a general excitement that comes with the first couple weeks in November. It's a great time to be in the woods, but if you need something to get you through your day, just search for Tailgate Talk on the iHeartRadio app and everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Good luck out there this week to all the hunters. Wear your Blaze Orange and be safe.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta
One of the best stalker songs of all time.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to me when they sing this in unison at Michigan Wolverines games. Like, okay, you guys know what this song's about, right? It's like Every Breath You Take when it first came out. Oh, it's such a pretty song from the Police.
What
back
about
in the
Come
80s.
On Eileen?
Come On Eileen was just a happy song. From Dexy's Midnight Runners. That was just a happy song. Come on, Eileen.
Someone was, but yeah.
Little Red Corvette was not about a car.
Yeah.
Summer of '69 was not about the year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, read the lyrics to Walk This Way and get back to me about dirty lyrics.
What about Baby It's Cold Outside?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
that
there we
was a
go.
little stalkery as well. It's like, baby's cold outside. Don't go away. Let me drug your drink, and you can just sit here.
Whoa,
and
circle back to Come On,
whoa,
Eileen.
Hold on.
I mean,
no one said anything about drugs.
Well,
in the
that was
drink.
the implication, now wasn't it?
No.
Was it not?
Who knows?
No,
Who
it
knows?
was not. The
Everyone's so
classic-
woke these days. I mean, it's just
It was a classic Christmas song for
That-
so long. No one had any negative thing into it, and we have to talk about it now because our station is now Christmas music.
We are? Oh, it's 90.
The old 97.3 is now Christmas music.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it in about a month or so.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
I
But
like
still.
I like Christmas music when it's Christmas, when it's time for Christmas, when it's
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
season.
well, Christmas time is as soon as Halloween ends.
Not in my house. It's not.
Well, according to
I don't put
those
up.
people.
I don't put up any of the Christmas lights, the Christmas trees in the basement until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Them's
that.
the rules.
I'm 100% with you. Like the Christmas tree, all of that has to wait until Black Friday. That's got to wait until after Thanksgiving at the absolute earliest. Some people don't have that,
Which is next
idea.
week.
Yeah,
we
next
just did
week.
everything but the tree at my place. So
Okay.
I guess we're part of the problem.
Okay, but by we, do you mean we or do you mean your girlfriend entirely doing all of that?
My girlfriend and her mom.
Okay.
To
Okay.
be exact. Yeah, I hadn't
And-
decorated it. I hadn't lived in a place that was decorated since I was in high school and living at home with my mom.
So
Do zero decoration.
I will say this. So
Zero.
this is as I understand it, this is your first cohabitation situation, Nick.
That's right. That's right. I
Take
said the
it,
tree has to wait until Thanksgiving.
take it from an old married guy
All right.
who's been through this once or twice.
Twice.
Pick your battles.
I wasn't upset.
I'm not-
So,
that's what I'm
it wasn't-
saying.
There wasn't even a battle there. I mean, it was.
Pick-
it was-
just
Do
some
what
just
you
some
want.
sage advice. Just pick your battles. This is not one of them.
That's
No.
good.
There will be bigger battles to pick. This ain't one of them. Pick your battles
Mhm.
because there will be more. I promise
There
you.
will be plenty.
There will be plenty. All right, let's hear from Badgers head football coach Luke Fickell. He had a lot of things to say about the Illinois Fighting Illini coming up to Camp Randall Stadium on Saturday night. Here's the coach from yesterday.
Well, I don't have a lot of updates. One big one, I think, obviously, Gideon flew home with us, walked on the plane, and had a smile on his face like he always does. And from there, what's moving forward, I don't really know. We'll have to. It'll be later in the week and some things like that. We can give you some updates at another point in time. But to be honest with you, I don't know. For those that were there after the game, hopefully sensed even a greater disappointment from me, and maybe even than other games. And I think that just in the fact that first half in particular of seeing things and growth and the things that we wanted to be able to see from us as a football team, right? I mean, complimentary ball and back and forth, and then the second half not being that was really difficult. And obviously losing is always difficult, but I just think in the way that which we played in the first half and then the way that which we played the second half, it was hard. It was disappointing, and I wanted to make sure our guys understood that and knew that too. That there is no silver lining in the fact that hey, you played well in the first half but didn't come out the second half, and so some of that was just making sure our guys understand that there's got to be a killer instinct when you put yourself into some situations that you want to be in, meaning get the game the second half, get the game the fourth quarter. We got to find ways to be able to get better, close things out, and win games. Whether they're obviously against a great opponent like Indiana was and the second-ranked team in the country, but in general, just how you need to finish things, and that was disappointing. But nonetheless, it didn't forget to remind, played their butts off, and they did a lot of things that that we need to do to be successful and you need to grow to get better. It's going to come down to making some plays. And I think in the second half in particular last week, they made a hell of a lot of plays and we did not. And so we've got to find ways to put our guys in positions. And when they have those opportunities, we've got to make plays in order to win football games.
Luke, I know there's 2 games left this season, but as you evaluate quarterback as a whole, it's obviously been uneven this year for a variety of reasons. But what do you feel like you need out of quarterback play moving forward for the future, whether he's on the roster now or not, to feel confident moving forward?
Well, first of all, we have to have a group that's going to be competitive, and I mean that in ways to make each other better. You know, it's been a really tough situation the last 3 years for us in that room. And I'm not saying that it's not like that. A lot of places in college football, just that the hard to develop that room with as much turnover as you can have in that room, whether it's bringing a guy in for 1 year or a guy leaving after 1 or 2 years. But I know this, we have to find some consistency in what we're doing in that room. And consistency gives you a chance when something happens, when a guy gets hurt, when a guy goes down, that the next guy stepping up can take and help grow the team and the offense in particular. And so it has been an Achilles heel. There's no doubt about it. But moving forward, we have to find consistency. We have to find depth. And some of that might be in some youth as well. And so the last few weeks of the season, that's what we got to see if we can figure out and see if we can help develop in Carter. And then we need to be able to move forward as once the season ends.
Darian Dupree, assuming if Gideon's not able to play, this might be an opportunity for him to get some more work. Two-parter. One, what's, as far as growth, what have you seen from him this year? And two, how valuable might a chance to be a guy that gets more carries in a game and get more run? How valuable might that be for a guy?
Well, I think every guy in the program has to take the opportunities that are presented to them. We all wish and want to be, have those chances, but you got to be ready when those chances, come. And I think that this is a great example of that. And Darren was a guy who was playing early in the year, got hurt, was out for maybe 6 or so weeks. And really just last week, the week before last, was cleared on like Friday to take a few snaps. And so he got a few snaps in the game a couple weeks ago, was going to get a few more snaps in this past week's game. And obviously what happened with Gideon, he had to go in there and kind of, the second half and, kind of foot the load. And then going into this week, he's a guy that's going to have a greater opportunity to not just be a guy that probably bounces in and out of there, but a guy that, might have a greater opportunity to be the guy taking the snaps as we start the game. And I think all those opportunities guys got to be able to run with, and whatever that means, like I said, he's been down for a few weeks. And so that's not always the easiest thing, is to get thrust right back into it. But that's part of the game. So he'll have a great opportunity. We need him to, continue to grow and, be at the position that he was, I think, at the beginning of the year, where it was a battle with him and Dylan. And, even going into that first game, we'll see how those guys are rolling to see, who continues to get more of the carries. But it's going to be a great opportunity for him.
Just going back to the quarterback's spot, you said what you need from that position. What have you seen from Carter so far that you like, and what do you see where you need more room for growth?
Well, it's easier to point out the room for growth. There's a consistency. There's taking care of the football that we've talked about. It's being able to get the ball down the field, that we know that, we have to give him opportunities, but he's got to be able to, be smart with those opportunities. But I think what we can honestly say is he's a joy to coach. Like, sometimes you don't know that when a guy's your scout team quarterback for 6, 7, 8 weeks. And, even through camp, you didn't get to see a whole lot of those things. And I'm not saying they don't get coached, but, to be in a position where you see what the guy, how he reacts, responds on a daily basis. So I know this, talking with Kenny, even, last week and even last night, he's just been excited about his attitude every day coming in, his willingness to recognize mistakes, open to obviously the coaching, the good, hard, tough coaching, and wanting to get better. So I think all those things we need to be able to continue to see from him. I think we know this, that the moment's not too big. I don't think he shies away from, or gets nervous when, they line up 6, 7 up front there. And that's not something you probably can teach somebody in a short amount of time. But there's a consistency that we got to continue to expect from him, and he's got to continue to grow with.
Luke, you could use Gavin Lom down the stretch here, and he could still maintain his red shirt. Have you given thought to opening that competition back up?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that this week very well could be an option. Last week going into it, just knowing that, by nature, Gavin has a little bit more pop in his leg. And if we were put in a situation where, we needed something that was outside of even, Vacos's maybe reach, that he would be an option. I would have told you early in the year that when those last 4 games or in the situation that Gavin would be the kickoff guy. But Vacos has done a great job with kickoffs this year. So I think it'll be one of those things this week that we'll be able to create a little bit more competition and see what we need to do as we go into Saturday.
Coach, we talked a little bit on Saturday about how Daryl's been somebody that's been around for a long time, but has kind of grown in this role. Has Ben Barton kind of done a little bit similarly in the last season or so? And just how has he been so consistent on that D-line?
Well, obviously, probably 6th year and being a guy that's, mature beyond his years, whether he's married and building his own home someplace. I'm not exactly sure where, but he has been as big a staple for us in the last 2 years up front as anybody. And this year in particular, I know that, maybe he doesn't get the stats that Daryl had, like 2.5 sacks from last week. And, maybe not the celebrations that DP has, but nobody's been more consistent. Nobody has meant more to that up front. And in particular, I think where we struggled last year, in particular interiorly, as we got late in the year with the injuries that we had, Ben kind of stepped up and showed some leadership ability. And this year he's grown with that. And I don't think Ben's done playing football. And I don't just mean the next 2 games. I think that, there aren't many guys out there that are 6'6", 330 pounds that enjoy to do what he does. And so he's been an incredible staple for us, but he's even been a greater kind of leadership piece as we've kind of struggled and battled through this whole entire season.
Badgers coach Luke Fickell, who met the media yesterday in the basement of the McLean Center ahead of Saturday night's home finale against the Illinois Fighting Illini. All right, coming up next, we will check in with Dave. He's got some updates on some of the baseball deadlines that are coming up. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. And the talk and text line, by the way, still open to you at 877-794-1973. Closing ceremonies next on the game.
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Baby, right.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
Low-budget film Easy Rider captures the public imagination with a soundtrack by Steppenwolf, the Byrds, and the Electric Prunes. The Woodstock Music and Art Fair is held August 15th through 18th on Max Yasgur's farm in Bethel. 32 of the biggest bands of the day played to a crowd estimated at 500,000. The event is later released as a movie and album. And with the boost from their appearance at Woodstock, San Francisco band Santana hits the top 10 with their debut album, Evil Ways. The festival undoubtedly immortalized Jimi Hendrix and ushered in the era of large rock concerts and arena rock bands. Also in October, Led Zeppelin have their only U.S. top 10 hit when Whole Lotta Love reaches number 4.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, whole lot of love.
The Allman Brothers Band released their debut album on Capricorn Records to good reviews but limited sales. And 7 years after his last number 1, Elvis Presley tops the charts with Suspicious Minds.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Elton John songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Baby darling, she's so blended.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
Papa, man, they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She's got electric boots, I'm more than food. You know I'm better than a magazine. No, Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Carlos Santana to reflect on how love is the only thing that is real.
I have no infection in my mind with conflict with any human. We're all the same family. Anybody who's infected with fear or division and separation, you know, that we come to play music, hopefully to invite you to drop that like luggage and baggage and accept the only reality is love is the only thing that's real.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Santana and all your favorite artists.
Ted Davis used to love to bounce back with some Tom Petty.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. That was his thing. All good.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I love Tom Petty. I got to see Tom Petty probably 3 years before he passed away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My parents went to see him at Summerfest like a few months before he left on that last tour of his.
And he was with Chris Stapleton, and I missed that concert, and I'm still kicking myself for it. Let's see. Our friend in Iowa, unnamed in the 515, who said perhaps a red card is in order for his complaining about us not doing enough Badgers athletics. No, I would never red card you. I'm glad he's there. He also says that he is a lunatic Badgers fan. Also writes, how can Luke Fickell not know where Ben Barton is building a house as a college student? The guy is not bought in.
Pretty sure it's in Stratford, Wisconsin, hometown of Ben Barton. But regardless, I mean, what's he going to do? If he doesn't remember at the podium in that moment, is he going to say, he's building it in Menasha?
Just reading the text. Just reading the comment. But I would never red card any of our wonderful listeners.
Smart and good looking ones, yes.
The smart and good looking ones. Well, that's the next show.
Yeah.
Ours are smarter and better looking. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Dave, we got some deadlines for MLB coming up.
Yeah, the deadline is coming up in just about an hour here for qualifying offer decisions. Brewers made one to Brandon Woodruff. So we'll be finding out in about an hour here whether Woodruff accepts it or he declines it. If Woodruff accepts it, according to Jeff Passan in his offseason intel article today, that would dramatically increase the chances that the Brewers trade Freddie Peralta this offseason.
Okay.
So that's something to watch there. And then also at 5 o'clock tonight is the deadline to add players to the 40-man roster to protect them from Rule 5. So we'll see some roster moves potentially here today. The Brewers have 2 open 40-man roster spots at the moment. But if Woodruff accepts, then you're just down to 1 open 40-man roster spot.
Do you have any anticipation as to where those roster spots might go if one of them, well, one could be Woodruff?
It could be. One name I'm looking at is Brian Fitzpatrick, left-handed reliever, 10th round pick out of Rutgers a couple of years ago, 6'7", put up really good numbers in AAA Nashville last year. He's someone that I think would make a lot of sense for the Brewers to add to their 40-man, be a part of the bullpen mix next year.
All right, we shall see. Coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. The Wednesday edition is coming up tomorrow. We're going to go shower up, and we'll try to be better then. See ya.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November